my favorite players from this last class. I think his defense is insane. Rim protection's insane. Better than credit for, although it's just bottoms. Zion James, Ryan Kalkbrenner, both Hornets, right? Go down a little bit. Maxime Reynaud. And then the Wizards at I love this. Jameer Watkins, he's a stud defensively, and he's
I
built
love
like an
Jameer.
ox.
I love Jameer.
Yeah, and then he gets the free throw line a ton for like that player type. So I respect and appreciate that from him. Javon Small, who was just super productive
Love
in his first year
Javon.
with the Grizzlies. I know that was on a rebuilding roster. I'm sad we should have mentioned him more yesterday. Tyrese Proctor, right? He could factor in for the Cavs at some point. Kobe Saunders, who
It
had
is
a lot of good
Bruce
minutes for the
Thornton.
Clippers
Let's
last year.
go. Sorry to
Guys,
interrupt you.
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
dip and
they're
go write
drafting
this
No, they're
Bruce
drafting
Thornton
now.
scouting
No.
report. So
All good, but let's talk about Bruce. I mean,
Do your
I
thing.
feel like we kind of did this already.
he's the best, and this is perfect for Houston. It's absolutely perfect. Like, you talk about Jalen Brunson, and like there's going to be so many people that are comped to Jalen Brunson because he's like the big thing right now. Bruce Thornton is strong. He is an efficient finisher. He can create his own shot. He can play off the ball a little bit because he's a legitimate off-ball weapon. He's the man. He can pass. He's turnover averse, scrappy defensively. Awesome pick. Awesome pick.
Anyways, thank you so much, Derek. Any last words you'd like to say to the people before you head out?
No, this has been such a fun draft cycle. I feel like the NBA draft space as a whole is just in a great place with Ben and everybody else that is creating content right now. I'm so appreciative. So it's been so much fun. Can't wait to continue talking about these players, get out the summer league, and then cover the next class too.
Hell yeah. We will see you, I'm sure, plenty on the channel. Thank you so much, Derek, for the time hanging with us. Again, 20 minutes late for this draft start. Very NBA of them.
Of course. All right. See you guys.
See you, Derek. Bruce Thornton to the Rockets. I mean, this is a phenomenal pick for me. Like, I think, Matt, you were just talking about like second round picks that can be like that level of impact that, you know, NBA film nerds like you are going to pick up on and be like, oh, why was this guy a second round pick? I think Bruce is a great example of a potential player like that.
Yeah, I actually watched him a lot just from Big Ten basketball this year. But so I'm assuming he fell just because of age and height, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. So I feel like those are pretty. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just like you question, man, like some of the things that tick evaluators off, just because like you'd think they learn. Because there's been so many great cards in the second round. I feel like that were like older players, like Gillespie wasn't even drafted, but Brunson and uh, yeah, Colin Gillespie. Not is it Jacob Gillespie who's in
No,
this
we've got
draft
Jacoby
class?
Gillespie coming in soon. So yeah.
Jacoby Gillespie. Jacoby. Sorry, that was close.
Yeah, Memphis at 32. Is this actually Memphis's pick? I assume this is actually Memphis.
That I don't remember.
I assume this is actually the Grizzlies pick. I'm sure the Grizzlies are going to make a Grizzlies.
I feel bad yesterday though when we were talking about. I felt bad now that I'm like looking back on it yesterday when we were talking about Grizzlies young core and we didn't include Javon Small, man. He's a good player.
Yeah.
When I was doing my top 10 rookies,
I adored Javon
I was like
Small.
heavily considering him from last year. Like he was one of the 10 best rookies last year in terms of his
He just didn't play
and,
enough.
I mean, just the ability to score. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
shooter.
he was just kind of.
Gets a lot of
He was just
steals.
kind of. Wow. Richie Saunders is a Memphis Grizzly. Yeah, that's a Grizzlies pick if I've ever seen it. That is a Grizzlies pick if I have ever seen it. Richie was pretty high on my list of best player availables. I love it. I think Richie is an awesome wing role player type. He's an incredible shooter, incredible deflection getter. Talked about him a little bit earlier, but yeah, Richie is awesome. I like that pick a good.
So who would you say is a better? I know I'm going white dude comps right now, but who would you say is a better defensive player with remove like what you've already seen from him in the NBA when you were evaluating them coming into the NBA? Richie Saunders or Con Knuckle defensively?
Definitely Richie. For sure, Richie. Yeah.
Really?
For sure. I
Wow.
didn't think
So
I
he's just
thought
another guy who slid because of injury concerns.
Richie Saunders is going to be a 25-year-old rookie, and he tore his ACL this year. So I think that's pretty understandable, honestly. But I think
Mm-hmm.
Richie, like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously not near the level of offensive player Con, but like I alluded to earlier, like he's not a crazy athlete, but he's very functionally strong, and he has some of the freakiest anticipation and hands that you'll see in the second round, especially. So I think, especially in this Memphis system, he's going to have a chance to be a real dynamic, game-changing kind of defensive player. I love the wing room that they're building with him, Jalen Wells, and Cedric Coward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's awesome. Is GG Jackson just
And
cooked at this
Lopez,
point?
right? You said you consider him more of a. Oh my God, I love GG Jackson as a rookie. He was like, first of all, I have a thing for guys with like unorthodox movement patterns. And like GG Jackson, like though you said you don't watch anime, right, at all?
I do not watch anime, unfortunately. No. Does he move like an
Yeah.
anime
Well,
person?
Ben's commenters. Yeah, so Ben's commenters, if you could relate to this, please let Ben know in the comments. But GG Jackson, I remember when he was a rookie, I wrote something and I was like, he moves around like drunken fist Rock Lee. Like, and I mean that is like the highest form of compliment.
Yeah, can't say I have any idea who that
Yours
is.
is saying?
You're talking a different
Oh,
language for me.
it is Richie Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah, and for
Rosetta,
day
you gotta get the
one,
Rosetta Stone.
for day one, I was Ben looks like I somewhat grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Z.
That's why
when I
I'm
was a kid.
surprised. Like honestly, Ben, you give me such anime vibes. Such
I mean,
anime
like
vibes. And I mean that is
like
the night. I mean,
I watched like Pokemon when I was a kid. Like, does that count?
no, no.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone seems to think that I look like I watched anime, which is interesting because I did not watch anime. That, that is not something.
You kind of are built like an anime character, man.
Matt just called me a weeb. Yeah, he kind of did. Okay, so this is Minnesota's first pick of the draft, by the way, coming in.
Here, Ben, I'm gonna hop off for 1 second just to fix something. Try to hold it down for me.
I shall. Is someone said thoughts on Seva? Is Seva Ischenko the same one as like Veselvad? I don't want to. I really apologize for butchering his name. Is that the same player? Because if so, I'm kind of a fan. I didn't get to watch enough of him to do like a full scouting report. But I liked him. He's like a real coordinated, big, long wing. I wish he shot catch and shoot threes with a little more volume, but he's fun. I very much like him as like a stash bet in this draft where there are very few, if any, actual stash bets. Jordan, I was bullied in middle school. It was definitely not for liking anime. It was more for being like fat and kind of a loser. But grown man, I swear to God, if I watched anime, I wouldn't lie about it. I don't care. Like, I'm unfamiliar with this life. I just watched basketball and Survivor. That's about it. That's kind of the extent of my television consumption. But the Minnesota Timberwolves pick is in. Vsevolod Ischenko. I like Ischenko. I think he's got some stuff to him. Like I said, didn't watch enough of him to have like a crazy take on him, but I do think he was a quality player. Welcome back, Matt. We missed you.
Hey. So I missed a pick?
Nope. Someone asked, did I watch SpongeBob?
I thought that was that.
Yes, I watched SpongeBob.
Ben, I have another question for you. I feel like this is a perfect time to talk about this while we have some downtime, but can you explain to me your, like, so start, like, okay, because when will you start watching I know you already watched some of these guys, but like, when will you start your film watching for 2027? And what is like, can you give me like a broad overview of like what your both day to day and like month to month film watching is for prospect scouting, so you can kind of get to that point where you watch like 150 prospects a year?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I have already watched a lot of 2027 films, so I'm not starting from scratch. But I am gonna, I don't know, take a week or two maybe, not watch. That's actually such a lie. I'm totally not gonna do that. But yeah, I think like I'm gonna start diving into summer is the time where I dive into college returners that I didn't have much of a chance to watch as much. Oh man, the Wolves take. Is this Isaiah Evans? Love that.
Yes, it is.
Huge value here. Um, Isaiah Evans to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think that's an A plus grade pick to me. I mean, he is arguably the best shooting prospect in the draft. Insane high volume off movement shooter who to me is more than just a shooter. Like he can really drive now. Like he's improved his athleticism. As I showed a little bit earlier, like had like 5 or 6 self created half court dunks this year, which you probably wouldn't really expect for a guy like Evans, who's like a skinny shooter. But I've always liked Evans going back to high school for like his motor and his intensity. Like he always wants to defend. He wants to like rebound, get on the glass, but just never had the physical tools to really do that, in my opinion. But I think now he has really developed that physically and like has some stuff as a driver, blocked a good amount of shots this year. So yeah, I think Yak. I think Evans is great. Matt, what do you think about Minnesota adding another high volume shooter after just Randall trade, extending Io DeSumo?
Well, he's like one of the more ready now players you're going to get right now at this stage of the game. Am I correct?
I'd say in some ways. I mean, his body is definitely not ready. I'd say, but like in terms of having an NBA skill that will be ready to impact the game, yes, he's going to impact the game as a movement shooter from day one. That is correct, I'd say.
Yeah, and I think I can appreciate that. I mean, we know Chris Finch, he loves guys who can shoot threes, right? So it's good to have another spacer to open up the floor for Anthony Edwards as he gets those downhill drives and make things a little easier, like on rolls for Gobert. Not that Gobert is this insane, roll gravity threat, but like everything I know about Isaiah Evans and the brief amount I've been able to watch him, like he seems like you said, if he's the best shooting prospect in the draft, the fact that you can get somebody who's the best at a specific skill at that point in the draft, that's huge. And I always say like you need to be one of two things to kind of actually have a career in the NBA, and that's you have to either be incredibly well balanced or you have to have like a superpower, right? And it seems like Evans
Mhm.
has that.
For sure. Yeah, I like that a
Now,
lot.
Ben, I was going to ask you. Looks like the Kings or the Cavs. Is it the
This is
Cavs picking right now,
Cleveland.
right?
Yeah. And we have our
Okay, and
next
they just
guest
took Malik
right before you.
Thomas.
I've been doing this bit every time someone. Speaking of slithery combo guards, I've seen Hammer hoops, so I know Ryan Hammer, friend of the show, big time media guy. He needs no introduction. Ryan, how's it going? Thank you so much for hopping on the show. The
Of
Kings just
course.
took Malik Thomas, and that is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is interesting.
Ooh. First of all, thanks for the intro. Call me a slithery guard. I'll take it. Didn't I forgot Matt? I saw Matt on stream before, and still didn't do the math that I was going to be seeing both of you guys. So good to see you guys both.
Ryan,
Good to see
you
you,
were
Ryan, man. Hope everything's good.
you were at day one of the draft, correct? Doing a bunch of interviews. How was that experience for you? That looked awesome. Shout out to you, obviously. I'm sure if you know me, you know Hammer. So
I
why don't
appreciate
you?
you a ton. It was a lot of fun. It was good. It was cool to be able to see like just talk to all the guys that I haven't yet and just see how they're kind of what their vibe is like heading into the draft space, because I feel like when they get to New York for the entire week, it's like they're completely different people. Like they're not college players anymore. It's very very different.
That's for sure. Any specific interactions or players that that really stood out to you? Any people that maybe surprised you, or any interactions you had that really stick in your mind?
Yeah, two international guys that I had not met in person yet, Kareem Lopez and Hannes Steinbach. Love both of them. Love both of them a lot as people, personalities. They're super fun, laid back, calm. I think they're good players also, so that was cool. But then most of the other guys, like I've met a lot of them, the guys that you would anticipate being really good in those settings, like Kingston and AJ and even Caleb Wilson. I thought was awesome too. I'd actually never spoken to him before, so Caleb was great too.
Caleb is awesome. I saw you talking with Kareem about Copa Mundial.
Yeah, of course. He said he played forever, and I was like, he definitely knows what's going on. Then he definitely knows.
Mexico plays today, right?
Yeah. Oh wait. By the way, Malik Thomas, you guys said he went to the Cavs.
Yes, the Cavs traded for Kings
Yes.
34. Any thoughts on Malik to the Cavs? I like the value, but
I
I think
love
it's
it.
interesting
I think it's
for
great.
Cleveland.
I love it. I think it's great. He was like a top 20 or 21 guy for me. I think he's really good.
So first round of the draft was fun. Hammer, I'll do it. Favorite picks, least favorite picks, anything that really shocked you on day one?
I didn't really shock me in the grand scheme of the things of the Knicks trading out, or trading back. Sorry, to take a likely draft and stash. They'll never play for them. They should have just completely traded out at that point. And I'm pissed that I'm not a Knicks fan. They traded back again at 31. I understand they're trying to save money, but I don't know. They could have traded out of the pick instead of back to take a draft and stash. I didn't like that.
Have they haven't taken anyone this year, have they?
No, they were supposed to be at 31. Now I don't know where they trade with Houston, and Houston didn't.
37. I think they're 37.
39. Yeah. Okay, so they'll be
39.
picking in a bit.
39.
Well, they might trade out of that one too.
By the way, this pick 35 is for the Spurs. Well, it originally was the Spurs, but remember the Spurs traded up to get Taurus Reed. So now this is the Nuggets pick. Just FYI for those listening at home.
These second round trades are impossible to
Yeah.
impossible to keep any sort of track of.
Cash considerations is going to have a huge day today.
Oh, it already has. Has.
This is the ultimate form of basketball nihilism. Ultimate form of basketball nihilism right now.
Ryan, so aside from being
Ryan, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Go. I was going to ask your favorite picks, but picks you actually liked.
Oh, okay. To be fair, Ben, believe it or not, this question was not going to forward the plot at all. So just go ahead, man. You guys continue on that. Let's talk about the important things.
Now I'm interested. Now I got to hear it.
Okay. All right, Ryan. So, Ryan, hear me out. Is Hammer actually your real name, last name, or is it like a pen name?
It's my real last name. It's like a amazing question.
Okay. I didn't know if you had like a Lemony Snicket thing going on, for your burgeoning media career.
No, you know what? Never. It's people. Some people have asked me that before, but it's a small list. I can count them on one or two hands, probably. So credit to you for being bold enough to ask. It is my real name. Yes.
And now,
Okay,
Ryan.
awesome.
And draft. Sorry.
Favorite picks of day one. Favorite hauls, favorite picks, favorite moments.
A lot of the top picks I feel like were pretty consensusly really good. I love what my Hawks did. I love Kingston. Obviously, I think it was really good fit for them also, and I like Zuby too. I thought the Hornets, two guys, Hannes and Christian Anderson, were unbelievable picks for them. I like Ibuka Corey a lot. I like what the Spurs OKC did for sure. I like Ibuka Corey in Detroit specifically.
Same.
I think his skill
Love it.
set and what he offers with a little bit of extra wingspan, dynamic playmaking, little spark offensively. I like that a lot. I think they could have gone Anderson also, I think, because they traded up to 17. I actually I thought that would have been great too, but very similar archetypes and styles. So I like that pick for them a lot.
Back-to-back Arkansas, Denver Nuggets go Trevon Brazil.
Oh, I like that.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. Not someone I'm a huge fan of as a prospect, but I think Denver badly needs athletes, desperately needs players who can, add some juice next to Jokic. Play, yes, but also, have real juice next to Jokic. And Trevon Brazil can block shots. He can dunk the ball, hit credibly, shoot off the catch a little bit. So that one makes sense to me. I do understand that one.
He felt like he was in college for a while.
He has
Like,
been.
I watched
He
him
went.
play a bunch.
Hey, he's a Mizzou legend. He started off as a Missouri Tiger. Hammer, I wanted to follow up on your optimism about Charlotte's draft. Since on day one of the stream, we had friend of the program Matthew Sponhour on, who was kind of crashing out about the guys who they got, and I felt like I was more in the middle, like kind of lukewarm. I thought it was solid. So, what's your upside case for Steinbach and Christian Anderson as a duo there for Charlotte?
I like fit aside, whatever. I love both of them. Be ahead of where they got taken, so that
Sure,
alone makes me excited about them as a personal
of
opinion there.
course.
I don't know how much like burn they're gonna get so early on where other teams I was more excited for them, but I think Christian is way better than he gets credit for, and I think Steinbach's a better defender than he gets credit for, and that will keep him on the floor a lot more often. And the Hornets are a weird team. I don't know. They needed that one front court player, I feel like, and did they need another guard? Like I don't know, but they had 2 picks, so take the best player available
Yeah.
and you figure it out. And I think they'll both play at least a little bit as rookies. So
Something I appreciate is like the Hornets very clearly have a plan and an identity. Like they want, like even last year, they were one of the premier like offensive rebounds and 3-point volume teams, and they drafted the best offensive rebounder in the class and the best 3-point shooter in the class, probably. So clearly doubling down
yeah.
and understanding who they are and who they want to be. But as we keep going down the second round, Ryan, who are your favorite players available on day 2, either that have already gone or that are still on the board?
I think Isaiah Evans and Malik were obviously 2 that I think everyone was on for the most part. I was surprised that Bruce Doran went that high, by the way. Good for him. Shout out Bruce Doran. And as a college basketball guy, I'm happy to see that. Same with Richie. I kind of knew Richie was gonna go. I love Vasar. I love Emmanuel Sharp too. They're my 2 favorite left right now.
Yeah, Vasar is my current best player available. I
Mm.
mean, he is. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go in the first round. Like
I thought he was going to also. I really thought he was.
I, I pretty frequently mocked him to your Atlanta Hawks at 23. Like
Same.
I would have liked that. What do you make of the Zuby fit there? Because I really like Zuby as a player. I thought he was a very interesting prospect. But the Hawks have a ton of these like 6'7" to 6'10" forward combo big forwards who aren't, great shooters. So what do you make of Zuby there, and how do you see him fitting in
Yeah,
Atlanta?
I'm so with you on that. I like him a lot. He'll be good in Atlanta. I assume they're gonna try to go after some like true 5 size in the free agency market or something or trade market. They're gonna have no choice. I feel like if they don't, then that's a problem. But I think Zuby will be really good as a backup 4 or 5 if they do that. So TBD, I guess, because if they have a plan to do that, then great. They have a plan to do that. But if they don't, then they probably should have went with someone with real size.
Yeah, that was something that was like, and again, Vasar is that's why I would have liked Vasar for them, like legit 7-footer, but also has some of that like Quinn Snydery stuff where like he can space the
Yeah.
floor. Quinn loves a center who can like play in the 5 slot, like have Jalen Johnson bring up the ball,
Yep.
and do all that stuff. But I do think, like we said, like Zuby is just a good player. Like, and he adds he will amplify what what Atlanta's already good at. Like he's going to create turnovers. He's arguably
Yeah,
like,
they clearly wanted that with him and Kingston. Honestly, the defense got so much better this past year than years prior. They still have gaps at the 1 and the 5 and in the front court, and so them making strides to be better than a mid defense to be a really good one. I think they care about that. Thank God.
I like when teams like, I think there is something to be said for like a team like Atlanta who definitely took a big defensive leap last year, has clear offensive limitations. You could go into the offseason being like, all right, our defense is good. We're not touching it. Let's address the other side of the ball. But that often doesn't work. Mark Tatum back at the podium for the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm on a bit of a delay, so I don't know. I don't know if you're watching. Oh, Baba Miller. Hell yeah. I love that. Where are you at on Baba, Ryan?
I like him and Dylan Mitchell. I'm like they're similar in a way, but I like Baba. I think in this draft, early second for sure. Like he could have gone late first, and I'd be like, oh yeah, go ahead. But at this point, it makes a lot of sense. Where's he headed, by the way? Is this going to
Clippers.
Clippers? Okay.
Clippers.
Clippers,
Someone said apparently the Lakers want 37th pick to get Vasar. That makes a lot of sense.
That would be a freaking draft for them. Cam Carr and
Dude.
Vasar.
Carr was a great. We talked about this one a little bit before with Derek Parker. Like, any extended thoughts on Carr to the Lakers besides like, holy shit, this rocks? Because I think that's kind of where we were at. Like, the holy hell, like this rocks. This is so
Honestly,
sick.
the same thing. Like he's a very effective player. He's good, but he's also Showtime. It's perfect for the Lakers. Like whether they're gonna win enough games to be contenders or not, I don't know. Again, but Cam Carr is Lakers fans will love him. He'll never be the issue for them. But also,
he's
I thought
unbelievably
Dalton Connect is
Showtime.
gonna be the same thing. So
Hey, well, Dalton Connect, like, he was not dunking the ball like
Could still
Cam
happen.
Carr. So, man, I'm very excited to see Luka throw lobs to Cam Carr. That's gonna be awesome.
oh god, that will be crazy. The Thunder are on the clock again. Where
He
is
has a
this
sick
team?
name.
Get this team out of here.
The Thunder have. I was gonna say this is where someone in the chat was saying that like maybe they're looking to trade this pick, but like
They never
Where the
trade their
Thunder-
picks. I don't get it. I don't get it. Where do these players all go?
they go into the roster and they disappear and some of them show up at some point again, and some of them don't. I love the big B chain that Baba Miller's rocking. As someone whose name starts with a B, I'm obviously partial to that.
You're gonna have to get that. You have to cop.
I am.
What is this graphic by ESPN? OKC notable non-first round picks. It's Isaiah Hartenstein was not drafted by them. Alex Caruso, again, not drafted by them or anybody. Lou Dort, that's theirs. Isaiah Joe, no.
Nope.
Jalen Williams, yes, and then AJ Mitchell. But that's only 3 of the 6.
that is true.
ESPN doing.
It's actually hilarious.
That is funny. I thought they were gonna have Kenny Hustle on there, and then I was gonna get really offended. But he is an OKC legend at this point. But obviously, I think he was a Pelicans draft pick, if I remember correctly.
He started with the Pelicans. I don't know if he was actually drafted.
Someone in the chat, Jen Rosier, said, my son tells me Nate Ament will have a Scal Labissiere type career.
Damn, I loved Scal Labissiere in college.
Man, I wonder what Scal is up to.
He's probably playing in the TBT this summer. That's my initial guess.
Wait, that's awesome.
I'll look it up.
I have no
I'll check it
idea.
out.
That's my guess. Yeah, Matt. I'm very curious now.
Speaking of those Bucks, Bucks were very contentious last night, drafting Burries at 10 and Amen at 13. What are your thoughts on Milwaukee's haul? Since most of our guests and people in the chat seem to not be particularly optimistic.
No, I'm not very optimistic. That's actually that was my least confident set of like multi-pick team mock. Was Burries at 10 and then him Amen at 13, and it happened. And I was like, oh, okay. I like Braden Burries. I think there's more upside than he gets credit for with him. It's still not as high as the other guards. And Nate makes sense that the Bucks are doing that. I still would stay very, very far away at 13 for them, especially. But hey, man, if the shot diet improves and he gets stronger, maybe things work out. But they've tried this time and time again, the Bucks. So I don't know.
This is just like what the Bucks do.
Am I reading this right?
What? Are you reading what right?
So we got Scal Labissiere signed a 10-day contract with the Washington Wizards on January 27th, 2026. This is the same Scal?
I don't know any other Scal Labissières.
Well, so there's also another Scal Labissiere who is apparently that's it.
No, there's definitely not two Scal Labissières. What are you talking about?
It's definitely not too scale.
People reminiscing in the chat of Thunder pick in Ryan Conwell. Yeah, that's annoying.
Oh my god,
that's really
dude.
annoying.
He'll play for them at some point this year and have like 30 points.
Yeah. All right. Quickly, while I fill this in, Ryan, thoughts on your fellow name twin Conwell, who he is and what he brings to OKC.
Literally a straight bucket, an absolute heater. That is like he's one of the easiest guys to describe in this class, he is an absolute bucket and a heater, and that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, look, game's about a bucket, but no, I mean Conwell, he is I think he's number one in this class in 3-point volume. He is a flamethrower from deep who can also do some stuff with the ball. Like he is definitely I'd say he's much more comfortable as like a pick and roll handler than your average like shooter of this size and volume. Like he can really get into it, find the roll man in space, and like Louisville's offense was like so spaced out and just like had those opportunities. But yeah, I mean, talk about another just volume shooter for Oklahoma City. Obviously, Adai is not a shooter, but Sturtz and Conwell, I mean, those are two of the best shooters in the draft.
Mara might be able to low key shoot the ball. He shot it before college in Spain, and at the combine he shot the ball. I remember too. Like I wouldn't surprise me if he's one of those dudes, like I don't even know, like not Drummond, who has shot the ball but terribly, but like even like Pirtle, I think guys like that, like randomly just be like, yep, I can shoot the ball now.
Yeah, maybe. I'm skeptical of him ever being a guy who's like actually drawing closeouts in the playoffs. But
Oh, you can't close him out, yeah. But then he'll just
can't close out at a Daimara. He's just gonna go whoop and
walk
and
to the
throw
rim.
All over you. He's just gonna walk to the rim.
Stroll to
That's
the
so
rim.
scary. The Bulls back on the clock. They took Caleb Wilson and Dalen Swain in the first round. Hammer, what'd you think of the Bulls haul in the first round?
Oh, it was good. I like Dalen Swain. I think he's to most he seems underwhelming, but he's really, really good, and I like that for them. I figured it was gonna be him or Cam Carr. But Caleb is obviously
Okay, so supposedly, according to the chat, Conwell traded to Miami for 41 and cash.
Oh, he's gonna have multiple 30-point games this year.
Wow, I like that. That's really good.
Oh, they need guys to play.
Yeah, I have some questions.
Sure,
I have some questions. So
we have some answers.
is he actually like good enough, you think, to be on playoff rotation for the Heat this year?
The current Heat roster, he might have to.
I think
yeah, like deep,
maybe?
like ninth guy.
Yeah. It's tough for any rookie, but like guys with that kind of shooting gravity have like can find ways. And I also think another plus for Conwell is that like he's very strong. Like he is a very functionally strong physical player. So a lot of the like these like shooters, these like high volume movement shooters are also really skinny. And Conwell is not that. He has real strength, and he's a bit of a, he's a little bit of a tank at times. So I think, and also I just trust Miami to get the most out of these guys. Like they're just so consistently getting the most out of these second round picks, undrafted guys, these shooters, guys who were just shooters in college. I mean, like Duncan Robinson, developed so much in terms of the other stuff outside of shooting throughout his career. Like even Gabe Vincent, I think was, again, like develops nicely. So yeah, I love that.
So who would you trust? Who would you trust more to give playoff minutes to right now? Ryan Conwell or Pele Larson?
It's a great question. I feel like
that is actually a great question, because like Larson, I mean, Larson's gonna be better because like I think Larson's been solid already, but like the value of Conwell's shooting is really legit. So that's a good question.
Yeah, I'll go on a limb and say Conwell. Why not? He just
Wasn't Pele supposed to be like a nasty shooter coming out of college?
At least good, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like a jack of all trades kind of wing. I liked Pele's ball skills a good bit coming out for his role. I loved his ability to like put the ball on the floor a little bit. But that is a very good question. I mean, the Heat are like, yeah, I mean, they are. I think we talked about this. Oh, Bulls trading this pick to the Pacers? Are you serious?
Oh.
Are we picking?
You guys do.
Tony East? You coming?
Oh, they're just announcing the Pacers trade. Who are the? Okay, I'm actually
Braden
watching
Smith
TV for this one. Oh, interesting.
Is this the Pacers?
According to a few people in the chat, they're saying it is. I'll look to
Yeah.
confirm this, but
I did get told last night that the
Yep.
Pacers were trying to keep him home.
wow.
Is it definitely him?
Yep, that's it. Braden Smith is an Indiana Pacer. He was one of my best players available. I have him 37th, so right about where I like taking him. Braden that's such a TJ McConnell.
Cam Jones is going to the Bulls.
Oh, interesting.
Chicago's trading Braden Smith to the Pacers for Cam Jones, future swaps, and cash.
I loved Cam Jones as a college player. He was rough as a rookie, so I don't necessarily hate that, honestly. Shout out to Cam, but I mean, I like Braden Smith. Kind of wish it was Vasar, but like maybe,
They were always going to go get Braden.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep him home. I love that. I love that. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I mean, Braden's just a good player. Like he's someone who I warmed up to a lot throughout the process. Just like the more I watched him, the more I studied him. He really is like such a surgical pick and roll playmaker. Like it is crazy the way that he can see like tight window pocket passes and like wrap passes around in like very little spaces. And I think like I mean, like obviously Purdue is good, but like it's not like he's playing with like real like lob pick and roll threat bigs. Like Jacobson, big, but like and then like back to like Zach Edey or whoever was a post up player. Trey Kaufman-Renn is like post ups, catching in the short intermediate area.
Yeah, he's not played with NBA level bigs. I mean, well, Zach Edey. What am I saying? But aside from Zach Edey, that's it.
Right, but what I'm saying, like Edey was a different thing, right, in college. Like he hasn't played with like a lob threat partner or someone who's like Edey was the centerpiece. Like, and he's not. But yeah, he's gonna be fun with Zubac.
Are the Knicks?
Okay, guys. Here's another one. Who do you like more, Braden Smith as a prospect or Tyler Kolek?
I prefer Smith.
I liked Kolek more than I do Braden now.
I prefer Smith, but like similar.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's probably the same idea.
I just think Braden maybe a little more special as a passer, despite being a little smaller. And Kolek's hands are always good. Honestly, Kolek's been a little better than I thought he would be so far. I mean, obviously the Knicks like barely even needed him, but I will not forget the NBA Cup.
He's an NBA champion, man. Come on. He was partying harder than everybody else. Him and Jeremy Sohan were going crazy.
The video
what was that thing that came out when Tyler Kolek got drafted that he like couldn't read? Is that like
it's a long-standing joke in college in Big East basketball?
That Tyler.
They say the same thing about Yaks. Yeah, they're like, someone was like, when you're asking questions, make sure to ask Yaxel to like read a children's book out loud. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Look, I'm sure if you've made it to the NBA, you can probably read a children's book. You'd hope. You'd think. This supposedly
who was that Chiefs running back who actually couldn't read? He was like, is it Jamal Charles?
Could Jamal Charles not read?
I think so.
What? That's insane. Jamal Charles was a monster. So
yeah,
maybe you don't
Who cares? All you have to do is read a field, read a hole, read a gap.
I was gonna say that guy could read a block, could read a blocks out, and
I have to jump after this, but I'm gonna wait till the next pick is up. That was corporate of me. I said I have to jump. I have to jump to another call.
Yeah, we have to pivot. We have to pivot into quarter 3.
Yeah.
Someone said so many hockey players can't read. Macklin Celebrini can't, and he's awesome. Oh my goodness.
No, I just saw it on ESPN. There's no shot. This is real. This team. This team is not fucking real, dude.
Jack Kyle.
This team is not serious about playing any rookies. Oh my god.
No, they're not. It's so funny. You're not even a Knicks fan. You're just Knicks adjacent.
I want them to play like oh my god. I literally don't care. I'm so impartially. I'm just like I just want them to draft guys that they could use on the team, but all they want to do is save $100,000 a year and send him back to Germany. Bro, they won play.
Bro, they won the title.
the NBA season is beyond me. I care about the draft. I care about the young kids. Like they could use Vasar though. Like they could use these guys. What if Mitchell Robinson is gone? They could use these guys.
This is like a long-standing bit of yours. I remember when we were doing this in 2024, you were on for the Knicks pick when they took Daddier, and you had the exact same reaction.
They don't want to draft players. They don't want to draft guys that play on their team.
Truly,
will
truly
just...
the exact same reaction. Anyways, thank you so much, Ryan, for taking some time. If you have anything you'd like to say or plug before you get out, feel free. But thank you so much for showing the people your knowledge and your insight. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
And back at you for what you're doing and also have me on. I appreciate you. Keep grinding. And I love that you're showing this entire board here. This actually, I was tracking everything on your spreadsheet. This is amazing. It helps me so much.
It's honestly like it's obviously a good content tool, but like it's so useful for me to just like have because like the order's always changing but yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Ryan, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You guys too. Appreciate y'all.
Take care, Ryan.
See you, man.
Jordan, we are going to have more guests. Yes, we are. Don't you worry. But
do they just hate hearing you talk to me?
Clearly, we're all boring and we're boring losers. Jack Kyle, though, I will talk about him in a sec. He's a pretty interesting player, like 20-ish-year-old contributor in the EuroLeague is always at least somewhat notable, right? And he to me is a pretty good like connective tissue kind of guard. Like he's a really quick processor, like a great like 0.5 extra passer type player. Can really shoot. Has been good on like the German national team, in the like the youth teams for FIBA and for some of the older, when he's gotten chances. Like I said, he's like a good like connector guard. And I think Kyle is fun. But yeah, I like that.
Boston Celtics pick is in.
Celtics took Chris Sinak was Boston's first pick.
Dylan Mitchell from St. John's.
Interesting. Dylan Mitchell off the board. Someone who I was a little lower on than consensus. He kind of reminds me of like, he's got some, I was going to say, definitely the lowest player on my board that has been selected so far. He's just like an athlete to me. Like he's an athlete who can pass and like just like has a pretty high motor. Very much a St. John's guy though. Like he is not another one of these Celtics athletes is just I suppose the way we're putting this. Yeah, Dylan's all right. Funny that they're using the picture of him from Cincinnati on the ESPN broadcast, considering that is not where he played basketball this last year.
You gotta love this ESPN broadcast, man. So I have a question, Ben. So now that it's 2 days, do they bring in a whole new cast of people, like draftees, into the green room or whatever it is, for the second day?
They did this year, but I feel like this might be new.
Okay. Because I'm like,
like I don't know
here.
If
I'm like, what is he doing here? Like
anyone in the chat can correct me, but I feel like this might be the first year they're doing this. I also don't, because again, I've been live for the draft like the last 4 years, so it's been a long time since I've actually like sat down and watched the draft show and like paid close attention. Hey, Braden Smith to the Pacers. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. It's so Pacers to draft a tiny mid white boy. Like I think it is really Pacers. But I think Braden's an awesome player. Like, and again, he has some TJ McConnell in him, no doubt. Like a very small guard who is just like an elite mid-range shooter. Incredible pick and roll player. I like it. I can't complain too much about it. Like I said, good value. Good value overall. I would say so.
What else was I gonna say? We still have 20 more picks. It's moving a lot faster today though, so I hope my body doesn't hate me. My body and mind doesn't fall apart on me. at the end of this. So are you bringing in Tony East now that the Pacers had a pick?
I actually I'll text Tony. I literally asked Tony before that, and he was like, if they trade it, I can come on. So I'll see what he says, but I will text Tony for you.
Love
Gonna have a
Tony.
couple guests filling in soon, so don't you worry, Matt. I'm not. You're not gonna have to deal with me by myself for too much longer. This
Ben,
is
have you ever
another.
been to Indiana?
My dad grew up there. I've been there like once a year, every year in my life at least. So yeah, I have been there.
I don't want to be that guy, but that place sucks, man. That place sucks.
Hey, I was gonna say, shout out to my cousin in the Otega Owe, Oklahoma City Thunder. That is an Oklahoma City Thunder pick, I think. Another guy who I'm not crazy high on, but I understand the sell for. He to me is just like a pure point of attack defense specialist. Like I think extremely explosive laterally, strong player. Also has just like a my guy says, Matt, you haven't been to the right places in Indiana.
No, that place sucks. I was just there last weekend, man. Place sucks.
But yeah, I mean, people are asking about this Henry Vasar slide. Beef stew to Memphis? Whoa.
What?
Wait, what? What's going on? Oh my goodness.
What? Wait, I gotta see
The
this.
Pistons are trading Isaiah Stewart to Memphis for 3 future seconds? What?
That kind of makes me sad.
What? Wow. What interesting. I wonder what the Pistons have cooking.
Yeah, what are they clearing salary for? Let's see some possible things that could be happening here.
Kawhi Leonard. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there it is.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, definitely going to be talking Grizzlies in a sec, but like, what the heck? Wow.
So is he just gonna die over there? Like, what's going on?
I love that. I mean, I love that for the Grizzlies. I mean, I guess Paul Reed was really good in the playoffs. And if you feel good about him going forward, then maybe Stu becomes expendable. But like, I just think Isaiah Stewart's been so good for so long that like, and again,
Yes.
has never been like a high minute player, but is such a dominant defender in his minutes. I'm surprised by that. I am just
He's kind of like
high
their
enough-
Dort, isn't he? Like he's like their Lou Dort. Like he's been such a big part. He's the longest tenured Piston there, right? He was part of that Sadiq Bey and who was the other guy they drafted that year in the first round that people liked?
Killian Hayes.
Sadiq Bey. Oh, Killian Hayes. I'm sorry about that. And Saban Lee. Saban Lee was there too.
I love Saban
But
Lee. I wonder if
yeah,
someone in
that makes me really
chat saying
sad.
potentially just trying to like go more in on an offensive build this year because like maybe you can open up room for another shooter or something like that. And that's interesting.
I mean,
Does Detroit-
CJ hasn't been. Has he been re-signed yet? Yeah, he was.
CJ McCollum was re-signed. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yes.
I
CJ
see.
is back on the Hawks.
Oh, Norman Powell is still available.
Is he? I feel like Norman Powell is still
Yeah.
on the Heat and under contract.
No, he's on unrestricted free agent. I was there. He was rumored to go. Like the Pistons had interest in him. As
Okay,
of
well,
yesterday morning.
Okay, well this Memphis big man rotation, really impressive. Like Edie, Boozer, Isaiah Stewart, man, that's fun. I really like that. I'm excited for Memphis, man. Kareem Lopez, of course, just got drafted. Kareem Lopez, of course. That's really cool. That's really cool. Wow. Fun trade. There we go.
I mean, maybe they bring him in as like a Dylan Brooks type, right? Set the culture over there, and obviously very physical, very competitive, very beloved by teammates in the locker room. Somebody
Also,
said,
and again, just like a legit, very good player. Like I think that's to me the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
where it's like,
yeah, one of the most underrated permanent defenders in the NBA. I mean, if we're talking permanent defensive impact, he's definitely somebody you you would consider for an all defensive spot.
I was gonna say he's a guy who's like been all defensive caliber. I wonder if it's saying talking about in the chat. I wonder if / when a Ja Morant trade potentially is coming, because you'd assume he's not going to be on the Grizzlies at the start of next season.
That would be fun though. John Morant with all these Rugrats and Beef Stew, and I mean they could be punchy.
I mean, I agree. It just seems like the Ja thing has run its course in Memphis. Like I'm not sure either of them are interested in, you know, like those two being there. I mean, I agree. Like Ja, Booz, like I haven't even been thinking about I haven't even been thinking about like the Ja as a component of this team going forward. I don't know where Ja goes. I mean, Sacramento, okay, Spurs on the clock. Let's see who San Antonio takes.
Oh, there's that Gillespie character.
Spurs take Jacoby Gillespie. Awesome player. I love that. Gillespie, 38th on my big board. I think this is an A pick for me. I mean, he is a perfect 3-and-D combo guard to me. Not like the most valuable, not like the most valuable archetype in the world. But I mean, Gillespie, an incredible off movement shooter with real range. He is consistently pulling from well beyond the line, and he has some of the best hands in the class too. Like a real pest on defense with a really low center of gravity. His ability to just like get into players' frames is really impressive. Like he will bother bigger, stronger defenders, and he's an awesome pass lane jumper too. So I love this. I think they needed more reliable guard depth, no doubt. Shout out to SoCal legend Jordan McLaughlin. I love J-Mac, but like, again, definitely would want a player with more real juice, and I think Jacoby Gillespie is undoubtedly a player. Jacoby Gillespie, I'm almost sure is not related to Colin Gillespie. Someone in the chat.
I wouldn't rule that out.
We have our next guest here. Speaking of the Memphis Grizzlies, Chip at Swing Skill on Twitter does great work covering the Grizzlies and the draft. How we doing?
Ben, I'm good, man. I appreciate you you asking me to come on this thing. This is awesome.
Thanks so much for coming on. Your Memphis Grizzlies just made a trade. Perfect timing. I was going to ask you to come on anyways. So, any thoughts on Isaiah Stewart, the newest Memphis Grizzly?
I guess the Grizzlies are just gonna beat teams up next year. Like someone may actually die in a Grizzlies game next year. I don't know. Like they're clearly just like leaning into we're gonna be tough and we're just gonna run back, grit and grind. And that's cool. So like that's what this city loves. And Zach Kleiman, I think, got the message loud and clear that like, hey man, all the cool superstar stuff is fun, but like we kind of just like beating people up. So that's fun.
What's your temperature on? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know your answer, but how are we feeling about the first couple days so far? I mean, day one, Grizzlies get Cam Boozer, trade down 5 spots, pick up 5 second-round picks, draft Kareem Lopez, took Richie Saunders earlier, and now traded for Isaiah Stewart for, in my opinion, like a very good price. What, a couple second-round picks?
Yeah. Basically just taking his salary for a few second rounders. So yeah, it's really good. I mean, look, like I was joking with somebody, like they could have announced that they were drafting me at 21 and I'd have been fine. It still would have been an A+, you know, like you got Cam Boozer, you got the guy that I think is the best player in this draft. And like, it's unbelievable, man. I for the longest time, I just refused to believe that he was actually going to be there at 3. And he was. So it all worked out. I think that they got the best guy, and Grizzlies fans really excited. I'm curious what you guys think on Kareem Lopez or Kareem Lopez. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name
Kareem
right,
Lopez.
But Kareem. Okay. I did his scout like a few months ago, and I went back and I read my notes, and I was like, okay, like I get it, but like, what did you guys think? I was a little surprised by that one.
I was as well, and I think I've said this a couple times now. Nets are taking. Just want to quickly. Tyler Bilodeau is a Brooklyn
Okay.
Net, another player who I did I have him in my top 100? I did. I have 92nd. Not a player I'm a particularly big fan of, but a shooter. He is an incredible shooter, a great stretch four. That's kind of all I have on Bilodeau, unless you have anything else, Chip. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Lopez is interesting to me. Again, they got 5 second round picks effectively alongside Lopez. So,
Yeah.
so I feel like you got to think about those two together. I'm curious, especially now, compared to I'm curious, especially now, where like Lopez is going to one sec. I'm curious to see exactly where Lopez like lands in this Grizzlies like development system, because like he needs a lot of time, and I wonder if they're gonna be like good now, like and aren't gonna have time to play him, and we're gonna get like GG Jackson. But no, I like Lopez a lot. Like I think he has a lot of stuff as a ball handler for a player of his like archetype, as this like raw, physical kind of bruising player. But he has some ball skills. He has some some defensive making upside. So I'm curious about him. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to know what you think about like what the Grizzlies outlook is for next year. Like, how are we go? Like, is this team going to be good next year, or like how good do we think the Grizzlies are going to be next year after the Lopez pick? After Cam Boozer obviously injected in there. Hopefully Zach Edey's going to be playing and healthy.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot recently. Like, I just think that if you can get 60 healthy games out of Cam Boozer, Zach Edey, and Cedric Coward, and that may be asking a lot, frankly, but like I don't think it's crazy to say the Grizzlies could go 35-25 in those games, and that puts you like firmly in maybe sneaking in a play-in range. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, optimism is definitely high in Memphis, but I'm very fascinated to see like what the changes are for this next NBA season, with the fact that there are not going to be any tanking teams really. Everyone's kind of incentivized to not bottom out. So it's going to be more competitive. We can go down the rabbit hole of whether we all like the new lottery reform or whatever, but like it is definitely going to make teams try harder throughout the season. So I don't
No
know.
doubt.
Yeah, I do think that like Boozer's so good. I know he's just a teenager, but I expect him to be like at least a 15, 10, and 3 or 4 guy as a rookie at least. And I think they're going to let him make a ton. So yeah, I'm excited. There's obviously the John Morant stuff's got to get sorted out. But once it does, like you can start to see the foundation of like a really fun team for the next chapter of the Grizz.
Yeah. Do you think there's any chance that Ja is on this team next year?
Oh my gosh, I think the Grizzlies would love for him not to be, and I think they're going to try everything they can for him not to be. But like, what's the market? Like, who's trading for this guy? Who needs this guy? Who wants to even take a swing on this guy? I
That is
don't
very
know.
true. Because like
And
Sacramento was,
I would rather have him than Trae Young at this point.
yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, like Sacramento was linked to him, but seems like very unlikely now after they draft Acuff. Miami, of course, was linked to him, but that's probably not going to happen now after they traded for Giannis. Like Minnesota, maybe, but like they just extended Io. Even though I think Ja is still probably good enough to where if you had the chance to acquire him, but yeah, I'm a little surprised. Yeah, I think like I mean, obviously Miami still makes sense for him, but I don't know like what like what are they giving up for Ja Morant? Unless the Grizzlies are truly just like done with him to the extent that they are just like, all right, we want you off the team and we will literally do whatever we can. Which like, maybe it's there. You could potentially argue that like they've run their course, but I mean, it's also like, I mean, yeah, thinking about this core that the Grizzlies are building with a potential good version of Ja. I mean, it's been a minute since we've seen Ja at his peak, but easy to forget just how good Ja was at his best. Like he was a crazy good player at his best. Which again, sad to be talking about him like an unk already, but like.
I know, man. It really is. Like I hate that it's played out the way it has because like I mean there Memphis has never had a player like that before. Like he's got the big shoe deal, he's on commercials, like he's internationally known. Like they've always had like Pau Gasol or Mark Gasol or Mike Conley or like like good basketball players, but nothing like nuclear superstar like this. And it just sucks, honestly, the way that it's kind of played out here recently. So yeah, I don't get the sense that the Grizzlies are like they want to pay to get off Ja, but I think the asking price is like just match his salary and you can have him, and we will even take back bad salary if that's what you need us to do. And there's just like no one who wants to do it. So I
Yeah,
guess at some point someone will bite, but yeah.
not much of a market for him, it seems. Spurs on the clock. We're gonna see who they end up picking. Announcing the Braden Smith trade. And the Spurs take Malik Brown. Wow. Chip, any thoughts on Malik Brown? I know you've watched him because you've watched Cam Boozer.
Yeah, I freaking love Malik Brown. I obviously like I don't know what he's gonna give you on offense, but like just a total culture setter. Like does everything defensively so well. Very active. There was a fun play I clipped like a couple weeks ago. I was watching a Duke game for Cam, and Malik like comes from the weak side wing all the way to block a shot, and then the shot's about to go out of bounds, and he leaps out of bounds into the cheerleaders, throws the ball over his head, and saves it. And I was like, yes, man, this is like Malik Brown in a nutshell. So that's just like the kind of guy I want is like my 12th dude. Like just come hang out, Malik Brown, be an awesome practice guy. And like, if you can come in and change a game defensively, that's great. I love Malik Brown.
Yeah, I think Malik has the best hands in the draft, pretty clearly to me, honestly. Like he is. I remember there was some like I think Duke posted that he had like 17 deflections in a game or something like that. Like he is truly all time when it comes to his ability to deflect post entries, to muck up weak side actions, like you said. Issue is he is like arguably the worst scorer in the draft, or at least up there, like 10 usage type player will like occasionally take an open corner three, but like not someone who's really dangerous as a shooter. Yeah, someone said Allen Graves best hands. Sure, I mean, yeah, Graves definitely up there when you're thinking about. Yeah, I mean, Graves obviously elite defensive playmaker, but yeah, Brown. If you could ever teach him to like, I think he is honestly like an interesting like if he shoots bet because I think he's probably just not ever going to be wired to be like a real role threat scorer or like an interior presence offensively, but if you can get him to a place where he's like at least adding some value from beyond the arc, like he is. Oh my god, the Spurs clearly came into this draft with a plan to address the front court. Chip, what do you think of the Spurs 2 picks on day one? Was Jaden Quaintance at 20? Jaden Quaintance at 20 and Terrace Reed trading in at 26.
Yeah, I guess they kind of have the same philosophy as the Grizzlies, right? Like we're just gonna get big and physical and surround Wemby with like old hockey style enforcers. Like you're not gonna touch Wemby because we've got a bunch of big tough dudes. I was joking. I was on a stream last night with one of the local media groups here in Memphis, and the Spurs pick came up at 20, and I was like, if I was him, I'd just take Quaintance because like that if I was to build a quote unquote Wemby stopper, he'd look a lot like Jaden Quaintance. So I'm just going to take him and make sure that no one can guard him with Wemby on an opposing team. So that's fun. And then Tars Reed, like just such a dude, just like great bet to be a 10-year like second string center for a long time. Fun player. And speaking of fun player, Emmanuel Sharp to the Kings.
I like that. Someone said even inside the arc, Duke loss. Every Duke loss involved Brown blowing layups turning into 4.5 swings. Yeah, I mean definitely a
We get
concerning
it.
score.
By the way, yeah, I'm seeing reporting here a couple minutes ago that those 3 picks that the Pistons traded to get a Corey yesterday to move up to get a Corey from the Grizzlies, right, are going back to the Pistons. So basically, that trade now is Isaiah Stewart for a Corey.
Wait, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well when you put it like that, I'm doing that trade every day and twice on Sundays. So like,
That's
Yeah, it makes a
crazy.
lot more
Yeah.
sense.
That's so funny. I love
That's
that. So
It's
funny
almost
how
like the draft day thing, like where you just give them back
Yeah,
their picks and you
yeah,
get the guy. I don't
that's what
know.
I was thinking.
That's kind of funny.
I love
that is
that, Chip.
hilarious. I love that so much. Two things. One,
Wow.
Henry Vasar is really sliding, which is surprising to me. I'm quite surprised. You know, he's not the player I would have pegged to be the guy sliding. Two, Emmanuel Sharp on the Kings. I criticized the Caravan pick because he's not a defender. The Kings need defenders, and Emmanuel Sharp is a good Darius Acuff backcourt partner. I think like he is a pure 3-and-D guard, but he's very good at that skill. Like he is a legit high volume, efficient movement shooter from range and one of the better point of attack guards in the class. Like nothing crazy special in terms of like playmaking or defending up his size, you know, making stuff happen off the ball, but like strong, laterally quick, good hands, and I think has a good balance between like aggressive playmaking and playing smart. But yeah, I love that one. Adam says maybe it's because of the TPE. How have the Lakers not found a trade partner? They so obviously want Vasar is a Russian spy. Vasar is Estonian, in fact. So maybe an Estonian spy. Lakers potentially targeting him, trying to trade up would make a lot of sense. Maybe the Magic just take him here.
Felix like part of the Magic.
Interesting.
Wow.
You're,
Did not
you're,
expect him to go over some of these centers, you know?
yeah, you're a Tennessee area guy, Chip. What do we think
Yeah.
about Okpara?
I mean, like, I guess continuing the theme of everything I've talked about here, just like another big physical interior presence, like pretty good shot blocker. Some of the rebounding numbers were a little disappointing. He doesn't do much offensively, but he is a really good vertical lob threat. I just wouldn't have taken him over some of the other available, but like he's fun, you know. He's long arms, really well built, and finishes lobs and block shots at the rim. So like you could do worse, but yeah, I'm surprised he went over some of these guys still available.
Again, at this point after 45, hard to like be too mad at any pick.
For sure.
You know, like the grades don't matter as much. But I'm not. Yeah, I think Okpara is like a big dude who can jump, but to me is probably one of the lowest feel players in the draft. Like really poor awareness, decision making with the ball on both ends. Maybe there's some Tennessee offense like holding him back, but yeah, I think Okpara and again for the Magic, like and maybe at this point with Vasar, there's like either one something wrong with him or two is just like telling teams not to draft him because he has a destination set up, which is what I would guess is probably happening since this is obviously something that happens. But
yeah, so I feel like it's worth mentioning that in the second round there are no like preset salaries, right? So it doesn't matter to a guy who's getting picked in the second round where they go in the second round because they can negotiate their contract freely. Just felt like that was worthwhile to mention.
True. Aren't like the
Absolutely.
first couple picks either like I know there's no like like scale like there is for the first round, but I feel like the first like 10-ish picks are usually guaranteed contracts. But after that, it's kind of a Wild West situation here.
Yeah, and
Brian
I
James
feel like
got guaranteed money at the end of the second round 2 years ago.
yeah, I feel like it's a lot of like agent stuff too of teams like reaching out, and be like, hey, would he be interested in a two-way? No, okay, then we'll just go to the next guy on our board, you know, stuff like that. So it's weird. It like Felix Akpara may have just gotten drafted because he's like, yeah, I'm down for a two-way. Sounds good. Pick me here at 46, you know.
Yeah, and again, that's someone in the chat said Okpara is getting traded to Washington. Are we seeing this? Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes a little more sense than Orlando, if so.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, same kind of things apply. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Supposedly, Okpara being traded. I'll wait for a more reliable source to tweet this before I change it in my.
Ben, by the way, I have a random question for you. Did Diop go back to Arizona State?
Diop went to Gonzaga.
Okay, cool.
That guy's
Are you excited
beast.
about him next year?
I am very random. I don't know why you're thinking about.
Remember we texted about him one time because I watched him play live at a bachelor party.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Masamba Diop, very fun, like slithery, skilled 7-footer who's going to Gonzaga this year. I like Diop. Chip, did you watch any Diop this year?
Yeah, he's cool. Like he's a pretty freaky mover for as big as he is. Like really fluid
100%.
and kind of everything he does. So I think going to Gonzaga is probably a really good spot for him. Just to learn from Mark Few for a year and kind of see like how the skill develops because like the movement stuff is wild for a guy of his size.
Yeah, he's
Is he
a
a
very
potential
fun.
third round guy next year?
Yes,
Okay,
I think so.
cool. I stood
Yeah,
next to him
I
at
think so
GSA.
too.
Yeah, I think could totally be a for. I mean, next year's draft is just going to be so interesting because of how like
Yeah.
deep and potentially like flat and unpredictable the returning talent could be. Um, but yeah, I like Diop a whole lot, honestly. I think he's super fun. It is very much the who gets drafted during a Taco Bell commercial this year. Has anyone been drafted during commercial this year so far?
No, they've done a good job with that. That's why I think that's the whole reason why they didn't why they switched it to 2 days is because of that whole Taco Bell, 3-time MVP, Nikola.
So what we're saying is if Jokic ended up being a bust, we'd still have one day of the draft.
I think so. I think that's where what really caused it. I mean, is that part of his legacy? Like, does that make him better than LeBron? How does that affect LeBron's legacy?
That is a beautiful butterfly effect, honestly.
So I'm to blame Jokic for having to watch the second round on a second day. All right, cool. Now I know who to blame. I get it now.
Honestly, from my point of view, like huge shout out because having to do like the entire draft stream in one day sucks badly.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Tyler Nickel.
Tyler
I like that a
Nickel
lot,
to the
honestly.
next.
Chip, did you watch any Tyler Nickel?
Yeah, definitely. I was hoping that the other Tyler from Vanderbilt would stay in this draft, but
Yes,
Nickel's cool
definitely.
too. Um, it like just a shooter. Like I think it's like pretty simple eval here. Like tall shooter who can really shoot off movement, run off ball actions. There's not like a ton of like secret sauce here. Like this is pretty straightforward. And like if he's a nuclear shooter and he's able to get an inch of space, then he's gonna get it off. So yeah, this is like seems totally fair range for him.
100%. I think he's a pretty decent like secondary rim protection, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, he's a movement shooter. I personally don't see what separates him and Caravan to the extent that they're separated in like the media. Like I had those two back to back on my board, or right about. I don't see those. I mean, Caravan's been producing at a higher level for longer, and I guess that's potentially worth considering. But I think Nickel is like similarly high level as a movement shooter. Like size and movement shooting with any level of ancillary ability can get you drafted, can get you on NBA rosters, and I think Nickel is definitely that kind of player. Someone said Jordan says rookie of the year prediction. This is going to be an awesome rookie of the year race, by the way. We haven't even I don't think I've thought about this at all.
Acuff and Mikhail Brown, just because rookie of the year historically goes to like high usage guys, and I could definitely see both of them getting a lot of tick in their respective organizations.
I feel like it's gonna be AJ. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if Cam gets the.
He's pretty low.
He's
Chip.
In the betting markets right now, he's not the favorite. I can't remember who the favorite is, but he's like fourth or something.
I think someone sent me today. Yeah, Cam was plus 250. He was the favorite. So, which is wild. But like, I do think the Grizz are just going to put the ball in his hand and say like, yeah, go run the team. So, but I've gone with you. Like, it's hard to beat the number one pick, especially when the number one pick's probably going to average 20 a game as a rookie. It's just a points, rebounds, assists award and how high were you drafted. So, they've got like Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa are probably going to get. I don't know, DeBonsa like. I guess the Jazz have like real aspirations of being a good team this year. So maybe Darren is not going to put up as many points, but I think AJ probably a pretty good bet.
Yeah, I feel
By the
like
way, the Parr trade is official to the Wizards.
Yes, I feel like there's probably just a few too many mouths to feed in Utah. I mean, look, if Darren goes nuclear in his rookie of the year, I'm not going to be shocked at all.
Right.
but I do think like all right, Dallas on the clock, Toby Lawal, hey,
There's a lot
I
of
like
mouths to
that.
feed though in Washington as well. If you really think they're healthy,
True, but I think
Yeah.
AJ is more of like Peterson. Peterson is like such a good off-ball player that like you can still extract a ton of value out of him just from like his movement and his off-ball shooting is gravity. Whereas AJ, it's like that's one of my questions with him is like how does he adapt to not having the ball in his hands because that's where he is comfortable. But it's going to be a fascinating rookie of the year race. And Toby Lawal to the Dallas Mavs is a pick that I actually am quite into, honestly. Lawal, arguably the best athlete in the draft. I think he tied the vertical jump record at the combine this year, if I'm not mistaken, or at least is up there. Like he is a uber freak athlete who doesn't do a ton else in terms of like actual basketball skill. Like he kind of plays like a small big, but definitely worth taking swings on guys with just that level of athletic tools. Like he is a freak athlete. Like zero load time. Yeah, definitely like no load time on his jumps at all. Just like a smooth, twitchy mover laterally. Had a pretty decent, like I thought he was decent at Portsmouth. Like had some a pretty good like pre-draft process. So yeah, I like that. So Dallas is potentially done. Dallas going Morez Johnson at 9, trading in for Sergio De La Rey at 30, and now taking Toby Lawal at 48. Chip, how do you feel about Dallas's haul overall?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, they like Merez and Lawal are definitely some vertical spacing for Coop and his ability to, just maybe guys who can stand in the dunker spot, and when his guy collapses on Coop's drives, he can just throw it up to either one of those guys. That I kind of liked Sergio De La Rey a little bit. I thought that he's just like the classic sense of a European big point guard. But that's fun. Like I think he's got a pretty good chance to stick in the league and find a role for himself. So it's interesting, like what they've done. Merez. Let me ask you, Ben. Like, were you surprised that Merez was the first Michigan guy? I know they're all pretty close, but like
Yeah,
it
definitely. I think we were talking with Derek Parker earlier. He said he thought Merez was the most surprising pick of the first round. Maybe up there, but like I mean, he's an awesome player. I
yeah.
don't dislike that pick, even if it's a little bit of a. Someone said Sergio De La Rey is the Nando De Colo of Jose Calderon's. Yeah, he certainly is. I was gonna say I compared Bennett Sturts to Calderon, which I think is fun. So and
that's
Sergio
such a good compound.
has some
Such a good.
shape.
Yeah.
We've another question about Vassar. Once again, likely at this point forcing his way to a certain team because second round contracts aren't guaranteed and teams, if a team drafts Henry Vassar and like, he doesn't want to sign with them, he does not need to sign with them. Like he can just not sign with them, obviously. So yeah, that's the Henry Vassar
The
thing.
whole
I'm
Austin
curious to see
Reeves.
which team it ends up being. I mean, Lakers make sense, obviously. Honestly, Denver right here makes sense. Like that would be good.
Yep. Yep. I totally agree with that. He'd make a ton of sense, honestly, with Jokic.
Same. And Denver is Onyenso on the board. Onyenso is still on the
Yeah.
board. That is correct. That's a guy I like quite a bit. Any favorites for you, Chip, left on the board? Sleepers, guys who you think could make an impact who still haven't been drafted? Tyler Nickel.
Yeah, I mean, Onyensu's the obvious one. He's the highest guy I've got left on my board. I just think he's like such a clean bet to be a backup big for a really long time. Like kind of like a Nehemiah to me a little bit, just in terms of like rim protection, really good size. It's pretty easy projection there for me. There's some like interesting guards left. Like Lipsy's really cool. Duke Miles is really cool. Yeah, I mean, we're in the draft. Like, yeah, a lot of guys went back to college for the NIL bag.
For sure. And again, We don't know what's going on with the agent nonsense and buying picks and all that stuff. Bryce Hopkins, Denver Nuggets.
Whoa.
CT's gonna be happy about that one. Interesting. I wasn't particularly high on Bryce Hopkins. I think he just snuck into my top 100 somewhere. Actually, no, I had him a little. Did I even have him in my top 100? I swore I had Bryce Hopkins in my top 100. Nope, I had him 118th. Okay, so this is the first player not in my top 100 that is off the board, and I mean, he's just like an athletic wing slasher. I suppose. I think at some point CT will be on here, so we'll talk about that. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever, not important.
Yeah. No huge thoughts for me either. I was mostly watching Zuby when I watched St. John's. So,
Zuby.
but shout out to Bryce Hopkins,
Yeah, shout out to him making the NBA, dreams coming true. Thoughts on Zuby to the Hawks? That's one that's kind of confounding to me, at least in terms of just like where that team is at construction wise. Like I think that's exactly the range I thought of Zuby in, but it's not necessarily the kind of spot that I thought he'd land in.
I tend to agree. I like Zuby as a player quite a bit, and I'm totally fine with like the value of where he was selected. The Atlanta fit is strange, and so it's always hard to know too. Like we're doing this draft before free agency and trades and all that stuff. So like, what's the final roster actually going to look like in Atlanta? But I tend to agree with you. I loved what they did with Kingston. I thought that maybe they weren't going to go the guard route. But then I thought the Zuby pick was just kind of strange. Again, good value, like the player. Just I don't know on Atlanta's roster. It's I'm interested to see how that fits.
Yeah, I agree. It is going to be an interesting one to track. We're almost at the bottom 10 picks. It is crazy. I feel like this obviously moves faster, but it's still not that fast. Like
we went like what 25 minutes and they made one pick in the second round. I was like, oh my gosh, like
20 minutes. They started 20 minutes late. Like I was pleasantly surprised that the again, pleasantly surprised at the pleasantly surprised at how quickly it worked. Like it started on day one, but yeah, day two has not been as kind to the time.
Good question for you guys. Where do you think we mentioned him very briefly earlier, but where do you think Tyler Tanner would have went in this draft?
Probably early second, I would guess, which is crazy to me, but that seems to be the feedback he was getting.
Yeah, I was thinking like where Phylon went. Maybe he could have gone around that range, but that's probably his ceiling, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is so good. And yes, Jordan, we are going to stream for probably 30 plus more minutes after recapping the draft. We can do a little bit of a longer post draft stream this time than last time, because last time the draft was so long and it is not like 9 p.m. my time basically when the draft is already over, which was so crazy. And like you said, it'll be fun to look at whoever the random undrafted free agents are, and taking some stock on that. Because again, like as we've been like talking about, undrafted free agency is like just as big, or if not bigger, than the late second round at this point. Just because of how the agent stuff works. But Chip, we've taken plenty of your time today. Don't want to take any more. Thank you so much for hopping on. Anything you want to plug? Tell the people where they can find you. Any last words?
Yeah, no, thank you, Ben. This was awesome. I'm a longtime fan of yours. So this was really cool to hang out on this. Yeah, swing skill. I've got all my stuff. Did a big draft notebook dump. So if your team drafted a guy and you want to learn my thoughts on him, I've got that pinned to the top of my profile. But you're the best, Ben. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Chip. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care, Chip.
On to the Toronto
Ben,
what's up?
I got a stat for you. So obviously, like the rookies from the 60s, 70s, 80s, put up a lot of points per game, some ridiculous numbers. But since 2000, the highest points per game rookie was Blake Griffin. Wasn't really a rookie, I guess. He had the red shirt year. He averaged 22.5 points per game. Do you think one of the rookies this year breaks that mark? I feel like Acuff could get a really dirty, really disgusting 22.5 on like 52% true shooting.
Potentially. I mean, I'm gonna go no, just because that's such a high. I mean, like all of the top three landed on teams where they might not have that like the full level of usage and like autonomy to get there. I mean, I correctly predicted before the college season that AJ Debinsa would be the first 25-plus point per game wing scorer since Doug McDermott in college basketball, which did happen. So I still think it would be Debinsa, if anyone. Jaden Bradley, Arizona point guard, is a Toronto Raptor. That is, I don't really understand that pick. I see him as
Never
kind of
thought
like
he was good. And when I
What's
watched
up?
him in Arizona, I was like, I never could understand why people thought he was so good.
He's a pretty solid player. I just think he overlaps pretty heavily with what's his name, Jamal Shed,
Mm-hmm.
who I think is a good player and worth investing in. But like he's a solid player. I think Bradley is like again another point of attack specialist. Jaden Bradley versus Chucky Hepburn or Elijah Martin. I probably prefer both of those guys to Bradley, at least as prospects. Like Chucky, I think was really interesting. And I wasn't like a crazy big fan of Elijah Martin, so I guess that one's kind of close. But whatever, second round picks, who cares?
So this pick with the number 51 goes to the Magic. But with
Orlando.
Jaden Bradley, I just felt like, we talk about we love like guys' movement patterns. Like his movement patterns just really pissed me off. Like the way he moved. I don't know. He just felt like he was like, like guys who like look chubby but aren't chubby.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I've been doing these bits for like every time someone comes on mid sentence, I just like continue, and I'm not gonna say welcome to the guy who's chubby but not chubby. Brad, Locked On Hawks, friend of the show. Welcome to.
What's up, Brad?
We're unhinged at this point, but Brad, thank you so much for joining us. Brad does great work covering the Hawks at Locked On Hawks, and we've had a couple Hawks people on. Ryan Hammer is a Hawks fan, but had more to complain about the Knicks for some reason. Brad, how's it going?
I am good. I'm glad to be here. I wish I could have been here last night, but it is what it is. I've been watching. I was watching from the Hawks practice facility last night, enjoying all the streams.
And we have another guest joining the show, editor-in-chief, Swish Theory, Matt Powers, one of my favorite draft thinkers, people. Matt, how's it going? Thank you so much for hopping on the stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, exciting night too going on.
Yeah, at this point, we're kind of just like walking through a bunch of these, walking through a bunch of these late first round picks. For either of you, any picks that happened within the last 10 or so that caught your eye in some kind of way that made you go
Huh.
I mean, Trevon Brazil was pretty interesting. I don't know. I think that's gonna be like really fun.
Yeah, I'm not a crazy Brazil guy, but I think Denver's a great fit for him. Like an explosive rim protecty big who can really fly around, and provide some resistance to Jokic.
I had to like test my priors for him because I feel like his first two like college years just like all right, this guy just like doesn't have it's not clicking. But like he fixed a lot of this. I don't know. He was such a good like play finisher. We saw how good he was finishing lobs from Acuff and Malik Thomas. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that was a good one. Brad, what about you? Anything that stands out? Oh, let's go, Isaiah Nelson. That's my guy.
I was gonna say I just saw that come across.
Isaiah Nelson, 51 to the Orlando Magic. I love Nelson. Nelson was close to my BPA. I was very high on him. I love him as an athlete. I love him as a defender. Big fan of Isaiah Nelson. I think he's sick. Matt, any thoughts on Isaiah Nelson?
No, I mean, I had him at like 59, so like what you were saying, he's a cool athlete. I was kind of like later onto his game, but I don't know. It's a fine swing here, right?
Wow, you hate me and Isaiah Nelson. Good to know. But
yeah. 4 picks early, so I'm like
4 picks. Brad, you are, of course, a longtime Hawks reporter. How do you feel about the Hawks draft? What's your pulse on, I guess, how they're feeling about it? Especially we've been talking a lot about the Zuby pick, which is definitely an interesting one in terms of like fit, but Fleming's at 8, Zuby at 23. I don't think they've made a second round pick yet. No, they have not made a second round pick.
No, 57, baby, it's coming if they actually make it. No, I like what they did. I think the Zuby. I understand everyone's freaking out about the Zuby fit, and I get why. I think that was a good test of what I've been saying, that Ante Soleil is like actually a best player available executive. Everyone says that, and he actually is one. Like, he actually believes to just take the guy, and we saw that with Zuby. He wasn't my highest guy at the time, but like I think it was totally fine. I think he can help them. It's just an interesting decision given what they have on the roster. I really like Kingston, and yet I feel like with Matt on here, I can't possibly be the high guy, Kingston Flemings. I know Matt loves Kingston Flemings more than anyone. So, but no, I like what the Hawks did. I don't love Zuby, but I like him, and I think he can help them. And Kingston was my guy the whole time in 8, so I'm happy with that.
I was gonna say I was doing a pod earlier, and we were talking about Kingston, and they were talking about how I can't talk about Kingston because I'm compromised. So Matt, you are ridiculously high on Kingston Flemings. Why do you like him so much, and what do you think about the fit in Atlanta? I think most of the guests that we've had on seem pretty positive on, and I'd imagine you're probably feeling similar.
Yeah, it was kind of like a late move on my board. I've been watching like every Houston game, just to kind of confirm my take that I had him in number 2. But yeah, I don't know, something also like watching the Spurs in the finals, like these teams in the finals, I kind of go back to like almost like an old school scouting model of like he's just like kind of a kid you want to bet on, like even though he's like lighting up analytics models, he's like top 5, top 6 and all those, despite like a very like suboptimal shot diet, but like going from Houston to playing fast in Atlanta, like, I didn't realize how, like, he cleared all the other guards in athletic testing pretty easily. So I don't worry too much about, like, the wingspan, and, like, he's going to get his steals through, like, speed anyways, and he still, like, somehow blocks shots and, like, is a crazy vertically bird. But, yeah, he's there's such a hockey stick approach to guards for me. Like, I either really like you or not, like, totally out. But, like, Kingston is, like, the rare type of, like, I want to bet on whatever you're going to figure out, right? You're going to figure some shit out in the court. You're just like that level of basketball genius.
I feel similarly. I think we were talking about this in like a group chat somewhere recently, but like Houston were like psychotically low in pace this year, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like they were just like not pushing at all. I think Kingston is, again, he played a good amount of minutes with 2 non-spacing bigs. Like that is just a hard environment for anyone to not only succeed, but also to like make your shot diet worse, right? Like obviously I think there are some aspects of his game that lead to like his mid-range heavy. Like he isn't the tightest ball handler in the world. Like he plays a little high cut at times. I think those things are fixable, but understand why his shot diet was the way it was. But like when you have Chris Sinak and JoJo Tugler just like sitting in the paint the whole game, like it's hard to get layups. And especially when, Kingston in Houston like knows this, and he knows that guys are gonna get on the floor and get offensive rebounds. People in the chat are saying Vesar to the Hawks. Brad,
I got quiet because I was trying to report on that while we were talking. That is happening. Yes, they're trading up for him.
Wow.
52.
Nice.
Wow.
I don't know what they're trading. I had heard. I don't know how. Let's just let it fly. I had heard Vesar might go to the Lakers. That was kind of out there. And I think the Hawks probably heard the same thing, and the Hawks were like, "No, you will not go to the Lakers. We're going up 5 spots to take you." So, that's, by the way, that is unconfirmed. I'm not reporting that, but that's the feeling that I have. They are going to get him though, so that's going to be fun. And
all right. Thank you for the on the record reporting, Brad. We really appreciate it.
Good timing that I was on here while that was happening.
Henry Vesar, like by far the highest player on my board, and I would guess most people's boards I'm quite surprised he fell this far. Obviously, there's like some agent stuff involved with picks like this, but Brad, what are your thoughts on Vasar to the Hawks? He's someone who like I think I mocked them to him at like 23 often.
Yeah.
What do you think about Henry Vasar as an Atlanta Hawk?
I think he would have been on their list at 23, which is why this is kind of crazy that he was still available. And, you know, there's the whole Zuby conversation about like what position he's going to be, and I actually asked Austin Saleh about that. They kind of view him as like a 4 or 5. I think this is another like, hey, we just can't believe this guy's fallen this far. We have to go get him. And the Hawks do have a relative need for a taller center than a Kongwu, but also they really value 5-out spacing, and I think obviously Vasar can provide that. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm shocked that he's available. I had him in the 20s myself. I think his defense is not great. I'm a little worried about it, but also at 52 for a complete bargain basement price, take a shot on it. And I think if he can fill that spacing 5 role that they really covet at this price, like it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, Vasar is just like far from a perfect player, right? Like he isn't the most incredible athlete. He's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none in some ways. But I think that general like thing becomes more acceptable when you are 7 feet tall and you have the kind of frame that Vasar has. Like you said, I like Vasar and Zuby a lot as a pairing. Like I think those two could play together and could play together really well. But like, it's gonna be so interesting to sort through that front court because Moguet is still there, Onyeka's still there, Jalen Johnson's still there. Matt Issa just yesterday found out that there are 2 Moguets. I'm sure you knew that, pal.
It was one of those actually where I got like 5 texts right away that was like, wait, Moguet's getting traded. I was like, that's the other Moguet. Please don't do this to me. It was not the same Moguet. So
It's like, how are the Hawks
other Moguet?
But never
Why
like
do I not know who he is?
I don't think the other Moguet has ever actually done anything in the league, but and I'm pretty sure he was waived pretty quickly.
Okay. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Been asking everyone, so throw it to you first, Pau, then Brad. Favorite picks of the first round, least favorite picks, or just something that shocked you or really surprised you on day one?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite pick, I think the thing that we'll be talking about like 10 years from now is like how did Cam Boozer not go number 1, right? Like that's just I feel so strongly about him as like that top guy. And I'm a big Zach Edey guy also, so like to see them two, I'm like
you are the Zach Edey guy, I feel like.
Yeah,
so.
I like to see those two together. Those are some like win killers out there. So I'm like really excited to see them play together. So that and Kingston are my big those are my big guys that went later than I would. Yeah.
What do you think about the Kareem Lopez pick? Oh, Knicks take Ghana on Yenso. I love that. That's awesome.
he was the guy I was gonna have I wanted the Hawks to take at 57 if he somehow got there. So I would have liked that too. I like
this is New York and not Houston, correct? Yeah.
I believe so.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Next guy.
I honestly really like what the Knicks have done this second round. Jack Kyle, Tyler Nickel on Yenso. Like I have on Yenso ranked highest of those 3, but Kyle. Matt, did you have any thoughts on Kyle? I watched him a little bit before the draft just to catch back up, but I'm definitely not as like tapped into him as the non-international.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't. I can't. I'm trying to remember why I like wrote him off as I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't.
He's like he's like a combo guard who doesn't really create advantages, which is always like a kind of like a smaller combo who doesn't create advantages is always a bit of a red flag. But like otherwise, the profile is interesting. I like the profile.
Yeah.
I like the connective play. I like some of what he can do. So I can't say I'm like too mad overall at that. But yeah, Ugano and Yenso to the
Yenso gives him some hook porty insurance now.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Ideally, a straight up upgrade to Huck Porty. Hopefully, I mean.
Well, and they might lose, and they might lose Mitch if Dolan's second apron stuff is real. They're going to probably lose Mitch. So throw some resources at that, just to try to have multiple guys to just kind of go out there and do the exact same thing. you know, just be a drop big and exist at the rim. So
Yeah.
I never noticed that you had the Brad Rowland jersey behind you. That's hilarious.
yeah, the Hawks actually have. I actually have 2 or 3 of these, which is surprising. The Hawks keep giving these away to the media members, and I think it's great for my background, so it works out.
That's so funny. I love that.
I would never use it for anything else because like I'm not even a Hawks fan anymore. I just cover the team, but like it's got my name on it, so it's like all right, I'll put it up there. Why not?
You should. It always cracks me up when people like wear custom jerseys with their name on it to basketball games. It's just like that's just funny to me.
Start
I'm
pointing
like,
at your back like regularly like this, just to make sure everybody knows it's you. Yeah.
No, Brad, the Hawks are my first favorite team. My mom's from Atlanta, so I might have to get one of those jerseys also because now I'm back on the Hawks bandwagon.
We're gonna get a completely like an extremely aura-filled Powers Rollins.
Yeah, let me talk to Hawks PR about that. We'll get it set up for the 26-27 season. Because I would give you mine, but it has my name on it. It doesn't really work. You know, it's one of those things where
Doesn't really work.
You can change your name, Matt. Matt Rowland.
I was gonna honestly, I'll just say this on the show. I was gonna beg Matt Powers to come on my podcast because he's the Kingston guy and people want to hear about Kingston propaganda. So we'll have to do that at some point.
Happy to do that. Yeah.
Oh, way to put him on the spot.
I know.
Well, we already
It's
kind of
okay.
did that, so
We're doing it now. It's
well,
fine.
we already kind of did that, and yeah, I'm happy to be a liaison of sort. Updating my horizontal board. My best avails. Wait, Jacoby is gone, right? Where did you?
Yeah, he went to Spurs.
Jacoby went.
So I have a question for you guys. Can you guys try to make this make sense to my small brain? So it seems like every mock draft, every person who's come on here, every person that talks about the draft had Cam Boozer at number 1. Why is it that he was not taken in the first 2 picks?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll let one of you answer this. Yeah.
no, I mean, I think you like would say the same thing around like Luca too, right? I mean, just like I do. I mean, part of me thinks that like the league office is actually like coming to represent draft Twitter more. Like those things are kind of weirdly meshing. I mean, this was like the closest the draft has gone to my like consensus in like a while. So, but yeah, that's why I was like, maybe there's gonna be one team who just like, you know what, Cam Boozer's like the number 1 player in our model by like a long shot, like, and some people just like over Anthony Davis and Zion for number 1 ever, right? So why wouldn't one team like be like, you know what, let's listen to that and throw all our assets against the wall? But yeah, I mean, good for Grizzlies that didn't happen, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong with AJ. AJ's like obviously there. I get the appeal more than like Marvin Bagley or whatever. But
yeah, I was also gonna say this almost similar thing. Like I think even with Ben on my like we've made the Boozer Luka comparison as like he's not gonna go 1. We kind of know that, and I'm not as all in on Boozer as number 1 as some people are. I would have been fine with he went 1. I do think that Peterson and DeBonsa are a different level of prospect than Ayton and Bagley, so it's like not as offensive to me as it was then. But it could be very similar. We could look up in a few years and be like, that was exactly the same thing. The best guy who was also unathletic, quote unquote, goes to 3 and becomes the best player. So, yeah, I think it's kind of. I mean, again, it was more defensible because I do think DeBonsa and Peterson are like real guys. I mean, Ayton. As much as I make fun of Ayton now, Ayton was seen pretty widely as like a real number 1 overall guy. The Bagley thing was kind of strange, but alas, here we are.
By the way, some news. Ugana Onyenso is actually going to Detroit, which maybe makes some Isaiah Stewart insurance. Traded him.
Yeah, Jake scared me to death because he mistweeted after Jake Fisher scared me to death saying Onyenso was going to the Hawks, and I was like, did I misread a text somewhere? But he misread his text, I think. So we're good.
That, and then Golden State takes LeJay Jones. I think someone, I don't know if they're still here. Someone asked about LeJay Jones earlier. I don't know if Brad or Matt, you have any thoughts? I liked him as like a summer leaguey type of guy, like 6'7" with some real ball skills and explosiveness to his game that I think he uses well on the glass. I don't know, the kind of like late 2nd round swing that I'm never upset about taking.
yeah, I don't even know who has Quadira Copeland gone?
No.
I think he's my best. Yeah, I'm surprised he's still there. As far as the like high rim pressure guys who can also pass and like are athletic.
Yeah, my BPAs right now are Rafael Castro, who I didn't expect to go as high as I have him, Malik Lewis, Taman Lipsey, Duke Miles, Aaron Nkrumah, Ernest Udet, Nate Biddle, Jalen Washington, Jalen Sellers, a bunch of guys who I don't expect to get drafted. But Yeah, the late second round.
I was
I'm just
Whipsy
hoping.
and he- but-
I'm just
What is
hoping I'm just hoping nobody gets drafted who I've like legit never heard of. Like last year, did Taylor Peter get drafted last year?
Yes, the 54th pick, I
Yeah,
believe.
I think I was on with Ahmed Jama, the Swiss Theory guy, who thankfully like knew who Taylor Peter was because I'm like I legitimately have never heard of this person.
Which is wild for you, a player getting drafted and you not knowing who they are is like kind of insane.
I mean, look, like yeah, I mean I think this year I watched more like deep second round sleepers than I ever have before. So I'm really hoping that like we don't get like a truly somebody I've never heard of. I even someone was talking about the Ischenko, the Russian guy, who people like to stash. I'm like, I watched a little bit of him in preparation to see his name flash across to see his name flash across the screen.
Yeah,
Guys,
I think
who's your
Joe would-
proudest second round hit? So a guy like you got graded really heavily, fell to the second round. Since you guys have been making boards,
Good question.
Sorry, is someone that we ranked higher that fell to the second round, you're saying?
Yes.
yes.
My favorite, like, I don't remember where he went, but I was, like, pretty on Justin Champagne, on who I think is going to have a similar, like, he's going to have a long career, I think, but I had him, like, 22 or something when he went, like, 50s or something.
It's a good one.
I don't know. He's just, like, one of my favorite players.
I'm trying to think of guys I've had that low, I've had in the second round, who ended up being really good. I mean, think about last
For
year,
you,
like
man,
I was.
'cause the DMs just take your board and just copy paste it right to theirs.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like AJ Mitchell. Was AJ Mitchell a second round pick, or was he late
Yes.
first?
Yeah. Second
I mean,
round.
that's one of them. I mean, I was very high on AJ Mitchell. Nick Martinelli is a New York Knick. A player who was getting a decent amount of buzz late in the cycle. Not someone I was a particularly high grade on, but he is. I think I've heard him like, maybe affectionately or not compared to like Big Ten Julius Randle, like lefty, mid-range scorer. But yeah, I don't have much to add on Nick Martinelli other than like he can put the ball in the hoop if you give him the ball in the short roll pocket.
Yeah,
That's
he's
his
very, like,
You could open a
borderline.
Italian restaurant in New York after his playing days are over.
I wonder if he's related to like the apple juice brand.
They got some hoopers.
Someone said, is Emmanuel Sharp a Caruso type player? I don't think so, but I do think he's good. Like I like Sharp with Acuff. I think you just need defenders next to him, and Sharp is a defender. But no, he's not nearly as dynamic of a defensive playmaker than as Caruso was. Like I did a throwback scouting video on the guy we were just talking about. I'm totally blanking. My brain is so fried. But
Martinelli.
Jay Mitchell.
Wait, no. Who were we just talking about?
Sharp.
Justin Champagne.
Caruso.
Emmanuel Sharp, Alex Caruso. I'm just gonna start
Alex
naming names.
Caruso. I
Darren Williams.
I did a throwback scouting video on Caruso, and I mean, it is something where like his defensive playmaking was apparent on that tape. And I think that's something that like obviously I value a ton. I know Matt Powers values a ton. Like just like the ability to like create events and just, like muck stuff up and be an effective team defender. Like it's a valuable skill, but it's also just like a hard skill to develop. I think like unless you have it from a young age and from an early spot. And that's why, I think that's why like a lot of draft Twitter people were like high on Alan Graves or, a lot of these other players who are, the high steal rate, the high block rate, just because I think that is a valuable skill that is generally tough.
Yeah.
Ben,
One of my
a word we
friends
haven't
teach-
said
Sorry, go ahead.
in the 8 hours we've been doing this the last 2 days. I'm shocked that it hasn't come out of your mouth once.
What?
Proprioception.
Why? Why are you
I don't
shocked
know.
that I haven't
That, like,
talked about-
It was like 6 years ago. I swear to God, you couldn't go on Twitter without seeing that word.
It's all over.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it was 6 years ago, but proprioception did have a moment. I know what you're talking about.
Dorsiflexion had a moment.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Right,
I think
good
I just say like spatial awareness, even though there's like slight differences. It's like bro is propriocepting at the highest possible level. Unfortunately for the Lakers, they're not going to be getting Henry Vasar here. I feel like we've asked everyone on this on the show, these Matt, Powers, and Brad, thoughts on the Cam Carr Lakers fit other than like hell yeah, or maybe not hell yeah if you're not into Cam Carr like that.
I'm most interested. Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
No, I'll be quick. I thought Cam Carr fell too far. I'm not like all in on him in the way that some people have been, but like I still was like, what's going on here? And it's a great fit for him. I think that's very obvious. Like I don't know. I'm not prepared for the extra bit of juice he's going to get because he's a Laker. You know, like it's already going to get out of control. It probably already is right now getting out of control. It's going to get crazy. He's going to have one summer league game where he makes some jump shots, and it's going to be the end of the world. But I do like the fit though. So,
I mean, he did it in the combine scrimmage. He like,
yeah.
I mean, like that is general. I mean, he's a let's go. It's
there. It is your guy. your guy.
No, he's gonna have one summer league game, and then one of those guys who I'm not gonna name their names, but we all know this person on Twitter who just like so apparently does not actually know ball, but will pull up like a go on Crowd Scout or something, right, and just like pull up all like a bunch of random clips of a player doing X skill, and we'll do that for Cameron Carr's summer league tape, okay, and just put steal of the draft period and get like 20,000 likes.
Yeah, that is definitely likely. I didn't put Ischenko on my board just because I didn't have enough time to like actually watch him enough to finalize a scouting report. But like, he seems interesting. Like, Pow, did you watch any Ischenko?
I didn't. I know Joe really liked him. Joe Holbert with Swish wrote a thing about him.
Okay, people are saying Dallas, but but yeah, he's like like a interesting like 6'8" wing who shot 45% on low volume from 3, and is a pretty impressive like driver. I think he's got some coordination. He's got some wiggle for a player of his size. I'm pulling up my disorganized notes. Yeah, he's literally the last player I took notes on this cycle. Yeah, some like touch on the move. I like his ability to bend a little bit on drives. Some nice flashes I saw as like a secondary rim protector. So yeah, makes sense to me as a draft and stash guy.
Yeah, this is going to Dallas. It says.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, on Cam Carr to Lakers, that's like I feel like it's going to be pretty like explosive offensive matchup, but like I have such a hard time with someone who's like 168, 86 pounds who doesn't get steals also, and like I don't know, he'll get blocks, he'll get a ton of dunks. Like there's kind of a floor to how bad he'll be, but I don't know. I'm nervous about that.
I do share some of those Cam Carr concerns. I think I was really high on him earlier in the cycle, and then, like, I like Cam Carr for what he is, but I think he's like a pure role player because of the things that you were saying. Like just like the creation ability. I think the fact he's not like a steals guy, but the fact that he's such a good secondary rim protector, makes me feel better about that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, going to be offensive fireworks, no doubt. When people, myself, people in the chat have mentioned Luke. Someone said, I'm sure you can relate, Brad. Someone said, I miss when the Hawks had Landry Fields as a GM. They were so dumb.
No comment. But yes, no, that's not. They are smarter now than they were then. That's the way. That's why I'll put that. The Hawks are smarter now than they were then.
We've come so long from Reese Shea. Was that still that was pre Onsi, right?
Yeah. That was Landry. Yes, before they brought in Onsi this summer after that. So the spring after that they hired Onsi.
Pre Onsi, post Schlenk.
Yeah, Landry as the GM with Nick Ressler in tow was the combination there, basically.
Landry Fields went undrafted, right?
I have no idea. I
think he did. He actually had
I believe he did. Yeah. It's funny because I think Landry's a really nice guy. He just didn't do a particularly great job.
Yeah, you get a lot of nice people.
Landry went 39th overall.
Damn.
Wow, you
Sorry
got
about
cooked,
that.
Matt.
Sorry about that. The superior Matt has
Sorry.
spoken.
Clean it up. Pull it
Hey, Landry
together.
was a cool player. I liked watching Landry when I was growing up. He was fun on those Knicks teams.
Yeah, that's a Novak. Wasn't he Novak's teammate?
I think so. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
he played with Steve Novak. Yeah.
No, I went to a lot of those games. Yeah, that team. Yeah. Jeremy Lin team. No. Yeah.
I believe we were talking about this yesterday on the stream. So I'll ask you, Brad, and you, Matt. Favorite like rando role player shooter a la Steve Novak, who was my answer.
Ooh. That's a just pure. Are you talking about only shooters?
Yeah, they can't be good.
I miss Rudy Fernandez. Do you know you remember Rudy Fernandez?
Yeah, the all time.
I know Rudy
He's the
Fernandez.
guy
I'm not
who
that
cheated
young.
How
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell beat his 3 points made by a rookie record, right?
Oh yeah, that's not.
And then he got.
I think I'm older. I think I'm older than everyone here. I was gonna say Jason Capono.
I said Jason Capono.
Did you? Okay.
Yes.
Well, now I gotta find somebody else to say.
Ben can attest to that.
You did say Jason. I was gonna say I remember somebody said Capono, and I didn't remember who it was, but it was you. I was gonna say I knew somebody said Capono.
Capono. I have clips of him on my laptop running through floppy action. If anybody wants those.
I mean, Kyle Korver's too good, so I can't say him, even though he's the answer.
I think somebody I don't remember who it was. Whoever was on said the exact same thing.
I covered Kyle obviously, and I know him, so I can't. I mean, he's really the answer.
What about Chris Copeland? Chris Copeland.
Gear Chick. What's his name? The guy who played for the Jazz with their
Gordon
Gierczyk.
Yeah, he was a
That's
bucket and a problem.
That's not a real person. No.
Does Anthony Morrow count?
Absolutely.
Yeah, stud.
Absolutely.
Anthony Morrow, then.
100%.
Who else was on that team? Azubuike too, another shooter on that team. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about Ersan Ilyasova recently. He's another
Hawks, former Hawk who I covered, who was fun to cover. Enjoyed him. Yes.
Ersan, what a legend. That's so funny.
What's the difference between Ersan Ilyasova and that guy you guys have been talking about from North Carolina this whole time?
Henry Vasar.
Same.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is a non-NBA thing. Did anybody see the Terry and Arnold report, the Lions cornerback that just hit the timeline?
No, what is?
Oh.
I've got a football.
He's apparently facing multiple felony charges that could be up to life in prison, according to Dave Burkett.
I
That's
interviewed
crazy.
him.
Anyway,
His
You
mom calls
interviewed
me.
Terry on Arnold?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Just one time it happened at Forbes. They just like, hey, you want to interview Terry and Arnold? I'm like, well, I'm from Detroit.
That does happen quite a bit. Yeah, that was my life at Uprocks for a long time. It's just like, PR person's like, do you want to interview this person? I'm like, sure. I will write a 500-word interview with this person. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was cool because I'm a Lions fan, sort of. And so I'm like, oh, Terry and Arnold, he was a rookie that year. And all I had to do was like mention K Jewelry like once in the article. But then
someone I've never heard of. No.
Yeah, and then he
we got one?
Yeah, his mom follows me on Instagram. I DM'd her.
No.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know
she does, man.
Narcisse Ngoy.
I don't know who that is.
Truly have never heard that name.
Let's do a little Googling, shall we?
That is not a real person.
He's
22 and he's still he played in Pro B, so I don't know.
Grade?
He wasn't on the top league at 22.
Oh, he's the guy that signed with Auburn.
Oh.
He signed with Auburn. I guess he's not going out there, obviously, but he signed with Auburn in like this spring. I remember that happening. Not that I remember him, but I just remember them signing a French big, and that's who it is.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's so annoying. Why couldn't they have just signed him in undrafted free agency? I mean, I guess if he's like an international, the rules might be different, but that's hilarious. I'm like, damn.
There's always one.
There is always one. There's always one. I have like 140 players on my board. I felt so good this year.
I'm so sad about Tyrion.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I just saw it come across. I was like, wait, is that a real thing? And it's a real. I mean, Dave Burkett's a real reporter, so I'm assuming that's real. So, anyway,
little football talk. We have little football talk. We had some football talk earlier, so
oh yeah,
right. Talking about Kareem Lopez is we were talking about Ryan Hammer was talking to Kareem Lopez about Copa Mundial, and I believe Mexico is winning today or won today. Okay, they're up 1-0 over Czechia. I'd like to see Mexico win.
Yeah.
I want
We
Kareem to
also
be
talked about
happy.
Jamal Charles. You guys missed that.
What? Oh yeah. Apparently Jamal Charles can't read.
Sure.
Yeah.
If we were talking about Tyler Kolek, we were talking about the Tyler Kolek thing. 'Cause Tyler
Oh
Kolek
yeah,
got brought up
because
because of Braden Smith.
Tyler Kolek can't read.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know who, like, actually, I'm pretty sure, like, can't read is Jamal Charles. Like, I'm like 83% sure he can't read.
83 is a pretty good number. Someone in the chat said Detroit had an awesome draft. Accordion on Yenso are insane. I agree. I'm really happy with that. I love this draft for Detroit. I mean, the Stewart trade is interesting. Brad, Matt, how do you guys feel about the Stewart trade? I mean, I just really like him as a player, but I guess I understand wanting to dump him, get cheaper. With you have Paul Reed, they just drafted.
Well, I think they might be trying to like gear up for something bigger.
Why? Ja,
Yeah.
I'm gonna Ja.
Or even, I mean, Hero. Even like, you know, there's a couple things they could do that, like, I don't know. Detroit, it's fine. I think Reed doing that kind of made it to where that was going to be, and they're going to pay. Obviously, they're going to pay Duran probably too much, which is understandable. Memphis just wants to bludgeon everyone, which I deeply appreciate. They're just going to be like, they're just going to pound everyone into submission every single game. That's like their whole plan, it seems, which I'm fine with. I mean, I think Boozer and Stewart is super fun. I know Edie exists. I'm not forgetting Edie. I'm just saying when it's Boozer and Stewart, it's like just going to be, those guys fit really well together, I think.
Boozer at the.
Can you run all three?
Or all three, yeah, you could do it.
Just I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you can do any combination. Like any combination of those three would be like an interesting look.
Jaron Pierre Jr. is a New Orleans Pelican. Hilarious that is their first pick of the draft. I wasn't a huge Jaron Pierre guy. I know he had some fans though. Like to me is like I feel like when I watch Jaron Pierre, my only real takeaway is like, oh, he moves well. Like I like watching him move around. Like he moves like an NBA player. That was kind of all I had on him. I don't know if anyone else has anything on Jaron Pierre Jr.
I do not.
Seems fine. No.
Yeah.
I did not spend as much time at the like late guys this year. I feel like.
Yeah, I watched him like a little bit and was like, you can be at the bottom of my top 150 or something. Like
Yeah, I've watched SMU enough to know like I've seen him. I had nothing to add to what you said. I think a couple people had him in like.
I was gonna say, I know he had his
something.
fans. Yeah, I know he had his fans. So definitely like not someone I'm shocked got drafted here. I prefer Boopy, even though Boopy is the shortest ever. But Boopy Miller is so good. He's incredibly tiny.
Ooh, Trey Kaufman-Renn to Minnesota.
Oh.
Wow, TKR. Interesting.
According to Mike
And the
Scott,
team
who I
making
assume
the
has it.
first pick of the draft tonight will be making the last one. How poetic.
Wow.
The first pick of the whole draft.
Did I have TKR in my top 100? I don't think so.
You'd be around like 70. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know why.
fine. Great post scorer, incredible touch, strong player. Yeah, he's all right.
Justice for Oscar Clough, the better Purdue prospect.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Clough is awesome. I think Clough would. He's going to be crazy at Summer League whenever he ends up going. Yeah, I have Clough in my top 60.
Yeah.
Quite a few guys available in my top 60, honestly, which pretty much always happens in the second round, because of.
Oh, I forgot Rafael Castro is still available.
Yep.
Until I looked at the screen just now. I was like, oh,
He's
still there.
My boy has not been taken, which I mean I'm not surprised since he wasn't like a consensus like always.
No,
a consensus
I'm not
top
either.
60 guy. But I think he's so talented, and I think he's one of my favorite like upside swings. Like again, just like guys with that size and movement skills and processing are worth flyers. Like even though he's older, he's skinny, he's not like the craziest athlete. I do think that he is worth investing in my opinion.
He was like number 32 for Swish, I think.
Hell yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I-
32 for Swish, 32 on my board exactly as well, which is right. I loved him. I think he's a stud, and I hope he goes. And I'm like I said, we're gonna hang out a bit after the stream just to Penn, where did I have Spencer Jones ranked in his draft? Not that high. I loved Spencer Jones as a freshman. Like he was so cool on that team in like 2020, and then he kind of stagnated. And I'm honestly kind of stunned that he's carved the career that he has. But like, I don't know, he's like a big movement shooter with some feel. So I guess something there. But I like Spencer Jones when he first came into college. And then yeah. I'm gonna fire up some clips on this Ngoy lad later tonight. I am at least somewhat curious about
What happened here? Yeah.
about who this player is, because
I mean, from what I saw, and there was a release that Auburn put out when they signed him in college. I think that I pulled up earlier. I mean, I guess he's like a real 7-footer from what it seems like.
That's cool.
He played in the French. He played in French Elite 2 league.
Yeah,
this is all
despite
from his
being
release from
22.
Auburn. Yeah.
I don't know. That's not too promising. But...
Yeah,
No.
You know this. Yeah, this feels like your classic late round pick,
Yeah,
but
sweet.
draft is almost over. Brad, Matt, don't want to take up any more of your time. Have already been giving us your, look, if y'all are freaking streaming on like late second round, like that is sicko shit.
Absolutely. I have to talk about Henry Vasar now, which I did not expect to have to do tonight, but I have to go do that now. But
Nice, yeah.
hey, not a bad thing to happen when you get a guy that's first round grade
Absolutely.
at 52.
Yeah.
I love him and Zuby. That's like, yeah, you can for sure play with them together. They kind of cover. For
Malik Lewis, pick 60.
Oh yeah, love that.
And we have our first two-way announcement from Shams.
Yeah.
As soon as 60 was leaked, literally within 1 second of. So that was probably agreed to an hour ago at least.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Matt, Brad, thank you guys so much for hopping on. For all of y'all listening, we're going to be on for like at least another half hour talking UDFAs, talking recap. But thank you two so much for your time. Make sure to go follow, subscribe, support them. As always, all their info's on the screen. Will be in the YouTube description. But thank you guys so much for taking the time, and enjoy the rest of your nights.
Yeah, totally. Thanks,
Guys.
Nice, yeah.
Yep. Good seeing you guys.
See y'all. And we are not done with the guests. Don't you worry. I actually have a guest, and I'm like badly needed this person to come on because he has like a chance to know who this Ngoy lad is. So if that's the case.
See anybody else getting signed right now?
Yeah, now time to turn to the undrafted free agent pool. Taman Lipsey. Let's talk about my best players available.
Trey Donaldson to Miami Heat.
Trey Donaldson, keeping him home in Miami.
They had to do right by him.
Makes sense.
Ben, I meant to ask you this earlier, but I couldn't find a good pocket of space. Who's the best quarterback to ever come out of Liberty University?
I don't know, Malik Willis?
Yeah,
Why?
that's the answer.
Why?
We were talking about Taylor Peter, and I just couldn't get that question.
Oh,
out of my
yeah.
head.
The actual answer is Darius McGee. Everyone in the chat, I'm sure you're going to do this anyway, but keep firing off undrafted free agent signings because I'll be scrolling, but I'm going to miss them as I'm operating the stream. A.K. Okereke to the Lakers. He has some interesting flashes. Quickly wanted to talk about Malik Lewis to Milwaukee, I guess. Is this Milwaukee? Yeah. He was one of my highest, aside from Castro, my BPA. A super low usage wing, but like a very legit defender who did a ton of different roles for SE Melbourne. I think he was on, but like I watched him. And speaking of thank God that Antonio Diaz, friend of the program, international scout. Thank you so much for joining us, Antonio. Do you know who this guy the Hawks drafted is? And CT, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Ben. Hey, guys. How's everyone doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Antonio, how you guys doing, man?
Oh, good, man.
So, yeah, the pressing question on everyone's minds is, Antonio, what can you tell us about the guy who the Clippers drafted it at 57.
Okay, so I see how I would be your best bet. But even for me, like I just went and searched him. I see that he was like the MVP of the second division in France
Okay.
with 10 points and 12 rebounds a game.
Sure.
Nothing much more than that. Like 7-foot guy, can dunk, block shots, doesn't move very well. Your typical late second round guy.
I was very much annoyed that we were so close to having everyone that I've actually heard of and watched getting drafted, but Narcisse had to throw in there. But anyways, CT, Antonio, thanks for joining this stream. So for CT, who did Denver take in the second round?
So
Brazil?
Denver got Brazil with their first, second round pick, and then they got Bryce Hopkins, St. John's guy.
Oh yeah, we shouted you out.
Yep.
That's that is CT propaganda.
Yep, at its finest right there.
This is state-sponsored media here.
Yep. Yeah, and I think with Hopkins, I think is a fine selection at 49. Onyenso was on the board, so I probably would have preferred that to be the pick there. But I think with Brazil, they definitely need more athleticism in the front court. And Brazil brings that, especially as an outlier kind of athlete. Pretty decent rim protector. Willing three-point shooter, can operate in the pick and pop a bit, can cover ground defensively, and that's what they need. They just need more athleticism in the front court. And Hopkins, pretty physical driver, good rebounder for a wing, his size, good cutter as well, can create a little bit off the bounce. So I don't think it's it wasn't like a home run draft or anything, but serviceable picks, for players that maybe can slot in and play bench minutes, at certain points of the season.
Yeah, I think Brazil makes sense for the he makes sense for what the Nuggets need, and Hopkins, I don't know. Like I said, that's CT propaganda. I mean, they made that pick for you. I'm sure of it. Antonio, you do a great job covering international players. Definitely a light draft when it comes to the international guys. Only was it 5 or 6 internationals got drafted? Lopez, De La Rey, Kyle, Ischenko, and Ngoy. Oh, and Malik Lewis, I guess. What are your thoughts on the international landing spots? Any players who you particularly liked their landing spot, you didn't like their landing spot, or just any thoughts on any of your favorite international guys that got drafted?
Yeah, so I think Jack Cahill is a pretty good landing spot. Houston always needs some more ball handling. I don't think he's gonna be like a main ball handler in the NBA, but he can be that in the NBA a little bit. Has had a pretty good season with Alba. Just had a pretty good game against Bayern, heavy favorites. Bayern at their home, and he played ridiculously well at the end of the game. So he made a great pairing with Christian Andersen. We talked about that a few days ago with Andersen and in the Germany national team. So I like Cahill a lot.
Anderson and Steinbach, German teammates, teaming up. I love that.
Yeah. He could have gone to Charlotte to pair with them.
That would have been great. Where's Declan Duru and Eric Reba when you need him? Let's just recreate this squad.
Jesus,
from last summer. It was a good team.
Declan Duru, Go ahead.
We got a super full house at the end here, partly due to my poor planning. But Chuck of Chucking Darts, friend of the program, excellent draft scout. Chuck, how we doing?
Oh, doing great, guys. The adrenaline is starting to leave my body, so I hope I don't faint while I'm on the feed here. But it's been a very fun 2 nights. Ben, thank you very much for having me. What's up, fellas?
Of course.
What's up, man?
I was just asking Antonio about some internationals. Question of the night. Have you heard of this person the Clippers drafted at 57, Chuck?
The one from Narcisse or wherever?
Yes.
No, I had not heard of that person.
Yeah. Okay. Same. CT, have you heard of this person? I didn't ask you.
I did not. Can't say I have.
Yeah. This one's a mystery. But since I have such an incredible panel, we're good. I mean, we're gonna talk UDFA's, talk post draft. I want to let Antonio keep talking about any of your, and again, any of you, feel free to chime in. Favorite international landing spots, international players. Especially curious, Antonio, to hear what you have to say on Lopez to the Grizzlies. So I think that's one of the more interesting picks of the first round, at least.
Yeah, Lopez is like, he can do a lot of things. I don't think he can do anything at an elite level, but he can offer some stuff defensively, offensively. His size is pretty good. He's athletic. Um, he got some crazy blocks in Australia playing there. I think some of this playmaking is underrated. Um, like quick decisions, because he played in Spain. He grew up in a really good environment to develop his playmaking and his quick thinking. I think his playmaking is pretty good. And then he can go for 5 threes in a game, and then the next game go for 0 of 7 or something like that. So building consistency and stuff like that, I think it's important. I think Memphis offers him some possibilities of that. So I like the way he gets that, and Memphis is gonna have a ton of size with him, with Coward, with all the bigs they have. So it's a pretty fun team.
Isaiah Stewart now, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I was going to say, Memphis has understandably been a common talking point on this show. How can they not be with,
Yeah.
obviously drafting everyone's favorite Cam Boozer. If anyone was hoping that Chuck or like one of our last guests we're going to be like big anti-Cam Boozer people, you're not going to get what you want. I'm sorry. But that's not going to happen. But Chuck, thank you so much for joining. I guess anything that stood out to you in this second round, any picks you really liked, picks you didn't like, things that surprised you.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually, as I go through it now, to see. I mean, I think Visar's fall was, I guess, someone was gonna fall, I suppose, but I had him in the first round, and I still think he can really
I'm
help the
surprised
team.
he's the one who fell.
Yeah, I mean, any big who can stretch, you'd have to really think that he just is not an NBA player because of the defense to have him fall that far. I mean, the offense is good enough to where if he's viable at all on defense, then he's like playing in a rotation. So that to me is surprising. Some ones I liked, I think the Nuggets getting Trevon was a good swing by them, although I'm sure CT has spoken about that. But
Briefly.
I approve of that swing just because if it's going to work with Brazil somewhere, then Denver's as good a spot as any. And
100%.
I'm always aching for them to add guys who are of an athletic caliber to really compete in the Western Conference, which is what I feel like they have not really been doing the last couple of years. So I like that they did that and took a shot on him. Jokic works miracles, so we'll see what he can do. But I think the Thunder getting Otiga Owe is a good one. That is where he ended up, I believe, right? Was
Yes.
OKC.
Correct.
And I've always had a fondness for Otiga going back to the 24 cycle when he was at Oklahoma. And he's an NBA athlete. He just lacks sort of a signature. I shouldn't even say signature. He lacks a clear like a clear offensive thing other than just getting into the paint. But there's worse things to have as your thing. So with his role getting scaled down and his potential to defend, I think that obviously he has he's in a good system to apply his considerable physical gifts. So I think that was a good one. Anything else in the second round that really, really popped? I mean, I think a lot of the guys that went in the first 10 of the second round seemed pretty chalky to me. I think that Dylan Mitchell was a mild surprise at 40, but everyone else was basically like right where they were in that 25 to 40 range that I had on my board. I don't know if anything really stood out to you as a real surprise selection. Kale, I didn't have that high, but he was, it's kind of different when you have the ability to stash and everything like that. Though I heard that they may not be stashing him. Is that correct?
I have no idea. That'll be interesting to see. I was happy to see the Pacers trade up for Braden Smith. I don't I would have probably again. It's like I have a hard time being like I don't like it because I wish it was Vassar, but like I do like Braden Smith. I think he's a good player. He's a very talented creator out of the pick and roll, and just like fits what they want to do. Bilodeau going top 45 surprised me.
Yeah, me too.
That one I did
Josh
not
Dix
expect.
to the Thunder, by the way, from Josh Dix to the Thunder,
Who?
the Creighton guard.
Yeah,
are
Josh
like-
Dix.
I don't think I know him.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
You know, well, Ben.
I don't know ball. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. I'm curious. I'm putting together my list of best UDFA's. I need to know where Rafael Castro goes.
Yeah.
As Josh Dix to OKC.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I totally could not hear you, Matt. You were not enunciating there. I know who Josh Dix is.
Sorry. Chuck, I have a question for you. Also, CT could answer this. Feel free. And Antonio. But
Not
what do
me.
you guys think of Ryan Conwell for the Heat? Can he factor in the rotation this year?
I think he can get some minutes. I hesitate to say he has a lockdown rotation spot, but over the course of an NBA season with injuries, and they're gonna need bodies. He'll see time on the court for sure. He'll be given an opportunity to earn a more permanent role, I think. Conwell I believe in my top 35, and in a tier that started, like I said, around 25. So basically had him as a borderline first round guy. What I like about him the most is that I think he's a pretty dogged defender, even if the deflections aren't there, essentially because of his size. I think that he just pursues on the ball pretty well, and I think he drives downhill pretty well. I would hesitate to be he has some sort of a Norm Powell outcome. I'm not going to, do that, but I think that his shooting is good enough, and he is physical enough, and he competes well enough that he should get some time, I would say.
Quickly, some UDFA's coming across the timeline. Milos Uzan to the Miami Heat, so there's another Heat player potentially. My guy Nimari Burnett to I just had it. Where did Nimari Burnett go? Raptors, I believe. High school teammate of Jalen Green. So I kind of wish he went to Phoenix, honestly, because I'd love to see those two reunite.
How old is this guy? Jesus Christ.
24.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been okay. Castro to the Bucks. Let's go.
Giannis replacement. They got him.
That is a
They got
Giannis.
him.
There it is.
Giannis replacement. I was gonna say I like Castro more than Nate Amit, but I don't.
I guess did Quadir? He didn't get drafted, did he? Copeland?
No.
He did not. He was
He'd
one of
be
my
the
best
UDFA.
available guys.
And neither did Darian Williams, his teammate.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Miami also got Donaldson from Miami.
Yeah.
There's Antonio.
So all the guards.
Okay, so they got Uzan, Conwell, and Trey Donaldson. That's hilarious. I'm not a particularly big fan of Uzan or Donaldson as NBA guys, but I do like Conwell, like we talked about. I actually really liked the question. Matt, can you ask the question that you asked me and Ryan, Conwell versus another Heat player?
Yeah, so it's actually really funny. Chuck's not going to remember this, but me and Chuck watched this player at Summer League against the Boston Celtics. But I was asking, who do you trust to play playoff minutes for you more next year, Ryan Conwell or Pele Larson?
Larson. Pele's good, man. I mean, I think
Pele's
he's
a good player. I like Pele.
They're
I'm
gonna need him
I'm
next
intrigued
year.
by Conwell, just hearing about the outline
All
of
the
him.
depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larson,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, Larson
Yeah.
can he was a rotation player clearly by the end of last year. Like,
Mhm.
and he could start for them, couldn't they? I mean, I presumably
If
they'll
you,
go get
yeah.
someone who wants a chance to start at shooting guard because they've got an opening. But I would think right now he's their starter.
Do we think Norm is just gone?
That's what I heard, but I don't. I mean, I didn't hear anything actually like that other people would not know just from being on Twitter. So like, I don't know. But that's all the rumor is that he's going to be gone.
That would be sad. If I was him, I would jump at the opportunity to be the best guard on a team with Giannis and Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, Norm
They
is
need
like,
shooting.
isn't he like mid-30s though? I mean, this is probably his
Is he
his
that
last
old?
best chance at a big payday. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
old.
33. Dang.
I remember
Okay,
I wrote something
early
about him
30s.
being like the most improved age 31 player in like this century or something. Like
Yeah,
taking the biggest bump from like age 30 to 31 or something crazy like that. And then he's also like, if you really look at it, he has like the craziest like all-star trajectory in like NBA history, just like the way his like career has played out. Even though he shouldn't have been an all-star. I mean, like he has an all-star in his team that didn't make the all-star team last season. So, but I love Norm Powell. Love
I
that
mean,
guy.
he went straight from the Clippers to Miami, correct? There was no
Mhm.
stop in between.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that I think about it, like he might be a little choosy about where he goes. Hard to be like, I'm gonna take
started
25
in-
million to go
He
play.
started
You know,
in Portland. You know, maybe he wants to.
maybe.
That'd be kind of
Maybe.
sick with Danny, with Avdia.
Yeah, a lot of drives,
Right.
if he goes to Portland.
Let's go. As we wrap up, I'm gonna. Each of you get to answer. I need your one favorite draft haul and your one least favorite draft haul. One only. CT, I'll start with you.
Favorite draft haul was the Bulls. I think Chuck will appreciate this one. Caleb Wilson and Swain. The first round, I think that was great value. Of course, getting Caleb before, and then Swain, someone that I had at pretty high on my board in my lottery. Another driving prospect to add to the mix. And then Wilson, of course, great value there in the top four. Going to change their franchise. So good draft for the Bulls. I think the Bulls are finally back after some long, tough years that they've had with the Karnisovas regime. But probably the worst
Nuggets
draft.
legend, by the way.
Oh, definitely. And then the worst draft, I mean, tough to say.
I didn't say worse. I just said one you don't like.
Oh, one I don't like. I mean, I would say the Bucks. I think honestly, I think if you're really looking at it after the Giannis trade, trying to get prospects with a bit more, I think upside. I like Burries. I had Burries as a lottery grade on my board, but I think he's more plug and play as far as off guard, can fit around more established players, and then getting Amen. Where did he go? Top
13.
Did he go 13? Little higher for me than what I had on my board. I think I had Amen in the 20s. So I think that draft was just a little bit of an overdraft as far as what they were looking for there. I would have targeted more upside guys. I think Phylon slid too far. I would have liked him in Milwaukee. But yeah, probably Milwaukee for draft there, and then I like the Bulls draft overall.
Antonio, what about you?
So City took Chicago, which I was gonna say.
I didn't
Maybe-
say you can't overlap. You
Uh,
can if you
no,
like.
I'm gonna keep the more teams on. Probably I like Brooklyn. Atlanta was a good
Same.
one, but I think Brooklyn is fun with Evans and Michael Brown. I really didn't like the Sacramento draft. I had Akaf low, I had Caravan super low, so I really didn't love it.
And just to clarify, Evans went to Minnesota, right, as part of that Randall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
they got-
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Joshua Jefferson, which I still like.
Yeah,
I still like,
love
yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
It's impossible to keep track of all this stuff. So.
Very
Yeah,
hard.
I'm looking at this and it's traded. Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck, what about you?
I guess like certainly picking someone out of the top four makes sense, but to go a little bit off board for one that I think still holds some risk, but one that I personally that is just sort of knocking around in my head is Dallas. So Morez I liked all year. and I think he is a draft type that subtly does not come around that often. A young big who is not like the main center on their team and played in sort of a supplementary capacity, but with these like every intangible and every tangible that you could look for. I think that's a very interesting player, and he got drafted, even ahead of where I had him ranked. I had him ranked 11th,
Same.
and I thought that was pretty aggressive. But
Yeah, I feel like people who were really high, even people who were crazy high on Morez, were surprised with that.
yeah,
I had him
and
14th.
there's a lot of different things that could be kicking around with that. That could be Dusty May, like just maybe he enjoyed coaching Morez the most and thought that he embodied sort of characteristics that Dusty likes to coach. Is that always the best?
Was like, I hate Dusty. I know who his favorite is now.
Yeah. Yaxel's so fun, man. I love
Yaxel's hilarious.
But like, it's
Good
just
Warriors
it's interesting what went into that pick and where Morez goes, because when you pick him that high, you're picking him to be a starter. You're not picking him to do anything else. So where Dallas goes, where Lively goes, I think that's all going to be very, very interesting. But I just love the player, and I think he is a rare athlete. Ben, I think we talked recently on some podcast together about how it's like his footwork isn't even like that good yet. Like he has a lot that he needs to clean up even defensively, and I'd like to think that he can, with like all of the intel about him, that he's going to get better and better, and he's still been extremely productive. So as an atypical bet to be like one of the 5 to 7 best players in the class, I think that he at least has an argument for it, because if he starts making all defense teams, if he rounds out his defensive technique, then chances are he is one of the 5 or 7 best players in the draft. So that and De La Rey, who is a very late scout for me, but when I watched him, I liked what I saw. He is sticking with me because he, just for me, feels like the version of kind of what I felt about Will Riley last year. And I liked Will. I had Will ranked in the 20s as well. Yeah, something was nagging at me with Will about like, this guy's so big and he clearly has a point guard's mind and can clearly dribble and get into the lane and knows what he's doing. But for, the fact that he was super skinny, playing off of Kasparis, he's not a major recruit or anything. Like, he was below sort of the top 20 talking points. And I think now in that class, which I still in a really good class in my opinion, like Will arguably could be one of the like 10 or 15 best players in it. So with De La Rey, when I look at the size, that shot, like I just love watching him shoot, even though the shot form is not what's in vogue nowadays. Whenever he shoots on a catch and shoot, it looks to me like it's so on balance and as encouraging a catch and shoot form as you'll find, minus some like one motion, superstar form. And I just like the way that he makes decisions. I know he's not a perfect player, but oversized guys who really know what they're doing and have vision, have that guard mentality. Like I know why De La Rey went where he went, and I had him again ranked in the 20s, but it's because there's all these guards in this class. But I think there's a good chance that he's better than a few that were taken ahead of him. So I'll shout out Dallas for that. And Toby LaWile's fun. But those two mainly are what's in my head. With an honorable mention to the Hornets, with a similar theory, big and guard, really good shooting guard. But I've taken up enough time, so I'll say Mavs.
All right, and you still need to do a least favorite.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Least favorite. So Kings have been mentioned. The Bucks have been mentioned.
Again, did not say you can't repeat, but I appreciate everybody not repeating, and I'm going to try to keep that up.
Yeah. I'd say the Celtics, I guess. with Senak, and they got Dylan Mitchell. I like both those guys fine, but it I kind of feel like Brad Stevens coming off of the success of drafting Hugo Gonzalez, and it seems like the relative success of developing Jordan Walsh into something that he's really in his bag, where he's like, I could go with no shooting or no offensive feel if I want. Like, we can just do it, and it just I would have liked to have seen them do something else with each of those picks. I root for both those kids, but given where they're at and like they're trying to contend, it seems like they should be trying to contend. With Jefferson on the board and some other guys, I'll shout them out. It's like I think those two are unlikely to contribute, next year. So I'll say that.
Cool. Matt, what about you?
Oh man, it's my chance to shine. I've already lost my mind. Did we say the Grizzlies yet?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, they got the guy that everybody's calling the best player in the draft at number 3. Didn't have to give up any assets to do that. Got a couple extra second-round picks. Added Beef Stew to kind of help build a culture there with these young guys. Getting Kareem Lopez, getting Richie Saunders, somebody we talked about at the start of all this as being like a really, really good defender who could also shoot. He's a little bit older, but I mean, it's a good flyer to take early in the second round. I thought they just did a really good job of rebuilding this roster, making smart moves. They have a super, super nice, fun young core that people are going to want to tune into and watch. Yeah, I mean, just like the things I keep hearing about Cambuza, stuff I've seen from him, from being able to watch him as one of the most high-profile players in the country this year. He get that the number 3 overall pick. That's pretty great. And for my one I dislike, I'm going to be a little contrarian right now and just say, like, the Wizards, like, why would you not take the guy that's supposed to be the best player in this draft with the number 1 overall pick, right? So,
I thought about saying it. Thought about it. Way to go, man.
Thanks, man.
So, I'll go with my one good, one bad. In the vein of Chuck, I'm going to go with one that isn't necessarily like my favorite class, but one that's sticking in my mind, and that is the Spurs. Clearly tripling down on a perceived weakness, and I think a real weakness. And I said this on day one, and I'm going to say it again, that this is a Robert Mays quote, that like teams will lie to you straight through their teeth up until the draft, until they no longer can, right? Like the draft is a truth-telling exercise. And I think that the Quaintance pick especially was like, maybe we're not as close as a finals team you'd think is, and so we can prioritize this like unbelievably high ceiling big who, if we redshirt him, he gets his body right, he gets more season on both ends, could be like he and Wemby could be the best defensive front court in the league for a decade plus. Like that's truly the ceiling that we're talking about. And then to supplement that, they took 2 bigs with like more defined role player skill sets. Terrace Reed Jr. is much better than Malik Brown in terms of like a more well-rounded player who could contribute. We talked a little bit about Malik earlier, who just has like freaky hands, really impressive defensive upside, but potentially too limited offensively. And then Terrace Reed, like a great compliment to Quaintance and someone who can credibly play as a rookie. I think like he's not a perfectly developed player. Like I think he has some footwork stuff he can clean up, but Reed is just a really unique skill set as like a physically strong center with a crazy strong core and lower body who can also like jump passing lanes and plays out on the perimeter pretty credibly while being a really impressive hub passer. Even though, who knows how much like post scoring he's going to get a chance to do in San Antonio. Like obviously post ups aren't as common in the NBA as they are in college, but even like San Antonio is not a post up team really. And if they are, it's Victor Wembanyama doing the posting up and the facing up. So I wonder, again, I think the Spurs, not my favorite draft in the world, like of all of these, but one that I think, like I appreciate a lot of these classes where like team clearly has a plan, clearly has a vision of what they want to accomplish, and they get that thing accomplished. And I think the Spurs are a pretty good example of that. So the Spurs, I'm going to go with my high draft. I don't know if I have a low one that hasn't been said already, unfortunately. I was gonna say, I think like I have some questions about the Zuby pick for Atlanta, but I love Kingston so much that I can't call that one. I think I'd have to just go with Milwaukee. Like I said, someone we already said it, but especially as someone like I'm not super high on Burries relative to the consensus, but even like we talked about, like I would have been totally cool with Burries too, like a team with an infrastructure more that could actually utilize him on his rookie contract at its best. And then we've done the amen thing over and over, and I'm don't feel the need to belabor that any more that it's already been belabored. But Spurs sticking out to me. Someone said in chat that
LaMelo Ball trade rumors.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, but that's Chomps threw a little bomb on the TV.
Whoa, what'd he say?
Yeah, the Hornets have been aggressively discussing trade talks revolving around LaMelo Ball, which makes zero sense to me. They finally got like a good roster around him. He actually played really well, competed defensively. It was insane impact metrics.
That would have to be for another star. Why would you only start really accelerating that after the draft? They must be talking to someone about bringing in a pretty big name.
Yeah,
I saw Sabonis floated for them.
Sabonis? Ball.
I wouldn't be on board with that.
Why?
No, they just drafted Steinbach.
I was gonna say that makes no sense for either team because they just drafted Acuff too. Like,
what about Kawhi?
That's more what was in my mind, is if they had something in mind like that. I don't know that Kawhi would ever really give his blessing to go to Charlotte, but but I don't know. I think they got to have something more that they're cooking up, because I think that new regime has been, well, I don't know, maybe a mixed bag, but
yeah,
that would seem especially
definitely better than the previous regime. I mean, not that bar is high at all, but
I would say that I don't remember if they made the Salon pick, the new regime, or the old regime.
That was their first.
They did. He did.
Right.
They did, and then it seems like they've like mega pivoted from that in the last two drafts. I have some.
They also took Brandon Miller over Scoot. So I mean,
no, that was Jordan.
Oh, you're right. Michael Jordan's influence was right. He like made the pick. Like he sold the team, and he like also made the pick.
That was before Peterson and the new regime. But I think like I don't know. I've got a little Salon stock as like an okay role player, but like clearly a plan.
No, sell that, dude.
and clearly a plan, but
man, Salon is younger than like half of this draft. Man, he's still a baby, but
Matt hates him.
It's definitely tough.
That goose is cooked, man. We make a joke. So I mean, this is gonna sound really messed up, right? But we have like a code word, like when I'm with the boys, right? Like the high school boys I coach, and it's like we always say, like when there's a kid who's like, you know, clearly a lost cause, we always just say like stop watering a dead plant.
That's your code word? Like,
what is coded about that?
Yeah, we don't say it like amongst each other. We don't say it in front of them. It's like amongst each other. Like, there's like a kid, like, for example, we have a kid, like, you know, who's like on JV, right? Who's going to try out for varsity, and like, you know, I have like the kids on the team I'm really close with, and they'll just look at me as like, is that dead plant? I'm like, yeah, it's wilting. It's wilting.
It's like saying we have a code word like, oh man, the trash really stinks today. It's just like, oh my god, dude.
That's how I feel about Salon, though.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go.
TT knows what I'm talking about. He's got some dead plants there.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. This is.
I guess who would even want? I can never keep track of which teams like want to make a splash in the point guard market, because it seems permanently oversaturated. But who would have interest in LaMelo? I mean, and even the Clippers just drafted Wagler and they have Garland. So I don't know who that like splashy team would be who would want.
No idea how this would happen, but Toronto.
Maybe.
Oh God.
I don't know if they like LaMelo, but they need LaMelo.
But they tend to hug their young guys.
I don't think it would actually happen, but
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. We will definitely keep our eye on this, and I think we just crossed 3.5 hours on day 2, which feels like a fine place to end off for this
Please,
draft
man.
stream.
Please.
Yeah, what is that? Like 8, almost 9 hours maybe.
Well, I
streaming.
mean, for you, it's different because you're an expert. Like, you know what I mean? This time is flying for you. But I'm sitting here, and I'm learning these new words. Like, this still don't even know that guy from North Carolina who apparently, slipped all the way into hell.
South Africa beat South Korea in the World Cup. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, man, I've learned a lot these last 2 days. I'm very grateful, but I'm also my back is in immense pain right now.
Matt, so that actually inspired a question. So, who out of all this, like, who was the guy out of the top 4 that you really liked then?
I mean, Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer's the guy.
No, I'm sorry. 4. I mean, excluding the top 4.
Like, not counting the top 4.
The guys I've watched, who I really like. I like Burries. I got to watch him a lot in the tournament. I mean, I like all the Michigan guys. I love all the Michigan guys. Like Morez Johnson, he's kind of like a bigger, stronger Colin Murray Boyles to me almost. But
you got
I love all the Michigan guys.
People are like, CMB's passing, you have no idea, and like, which is correct. But Morez is very good. I really like Morez.
I love Yaxel. I love all those Michigan guys. As much as I hate to admit that, I love all the Michigan guys.
Yeah, aren't you Sparty? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll be talking about Jeremy Fears and Jordan Scott in due time. Don't you worry.
I have nothing against their basketball team. I respect that program a lot. It's the football team and that clown show over there. But other guys I liked. I've again never watched him play. Didn't know he was till today. But this Ryan Conwell character, the theory of him intrigues me, and that Heat roster.
Yeah, you should go watch some highlights. He's fun.
Yeah. I think I might just wait until summer league because I kind of want to watch some of the 2005 Rockets Mavericks series this weekend.
Hell, man. Why?
I just have a hunch about something that I was curious about.
What could you possibly have a hunch about relating to the 2005 Nugget rap?
Yao Ming's paint protection. I just want to study it more.
What, for a Mara take? Is that what you're looking at?
No, nothing. I'm just gonna have that in my back pocket. Like I like to have things in my back pocket, like references. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I don't. But I bless you. Like, do whatever you want, man. I support you. But when you're like references, if you know what I mean, I was like, that reference is lost on me. No, I don't know. But,
you know how like Jonah Hill says, and this is the end. He's like Jay has the sickest
reference. Yeah.
That's what I want somebody to say about me someday. I want me to bet on potting. He's just for Matt. You have the sickest references, man.
Well. Anyways, Antonio, Chuck, CT, thanks so much for being the post-game panel.
Thank you.
Appreciate all.
Did you check the seller's contract?
Jalen, he got scooped up. I was hoping he would.
Oh, did he?
Going to the Bulls, yeah. Copeland to Houston.
Oh.
And Copeland to Houston.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And Lipsy to Indiana.
Oh,
I forgot about Taman. He went to Indiana. That's good too. Yeah.
Ben's spot right there.
That. Let's go. We took my 2 favorite second-round point guards.
Yeah. Taman learning from McConnell. Oh, I love that. That's a great
Taman, Braden, and McConnell is the most annoying bench backcourt in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all so much for your time. As always, everyone's on screen, and I'm gonna link everyone's info in the description of the YouTube video. Huge thank you to all of you who tuned in with us. We still have 60 people in here, which is on my YouTube, just my YouTube, which is hilarious. It is 8 o'clock Pacific time. What are you doing? Almost like 20,000 views across all platforms today on day 2, which is ridiculous. So thank you all so much for the support. It means the world. I said this earlier today, but I want to say it again because I think I'm funny. I'm gonna have a 2027 mock out tomorrow morning. So
wow. Dedication right there.
That's right. That's awesome.
So I'm excited to keep that going. But I think we are going to call it. This has been our Essentially Sports Draft live stream. Thank you so much to all of our guests, from me, from Matt, to all of you. Thanks y'all for watching. It's a great draft cycle, and I will